Chapter 22-21. Hu Chunhua hurriedly cleared her name, eldest daughter-in-law. I didn't steal it, and neither did your youngest aunt. If you want to investigate, you should check who entered Pan Er's room and whether or not they took it away. After Hu Chunhua finished speaking, Feng Zhangxia said, Mother, no one will admit to this. For the sake of fairness, everyone should search. Hu Chunhua was unwilling. No, I won't let you search my room anyway. It's just a gold hairpin. At my age, I wouldn't do such a thing. Qian Zhozha also said, That's right, eldest sister-in-law, searching is a bit too much. Think about who entered Pan Er's room first, or who in our family is more likely to do such a thing. After Qian Zhozha said this, Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned, and she patted her thigh and hurriedly said, I know who stole it. Old Zhao's family members' gazes fell on Feng Zhangxia, and they all asked curiously, Eldest sister-in-law, who stole it? That's right, who in our family is it? Who would do such a thing? Feng Zhangxia said with a firm expression, Who in our family would do such a thing? Who is the most shameless person in our family? Think about it carefully. After Feng Zhangxia said this, everyone was reminded. Currently, Zhao Wenshui was the only one in old Zhao's family who wasn't present. Usually, Zhao Wenshui was the only one who liked to do such shameless things. Unfortunately, Zhao Wenshui had something to do today, so he didn't ask. If Zhao Wenshui was present, he would definitely be able to interrogate him. Zhao Baoshan asked, Where did second brother go today? I heard him say that he went to town. Feng Zhangxia was now even more certain that Zhao Wenshui was the one who stole it. Father, the way I see it, Pan Er's golden hairpin was stolen by second brother. He's too unusual today. Why did he come to town? I think he took Pan Er's golden hairpin to sell stolen goods and went to the pawn shop to exchange it for money, Feng Zhangxia said through gritted teeth. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. This second brother of hers was really too much. Previously, he had touched her and was taught a lesson, yet he still didn't learn his lesson. Now, he stretched out his hand and had the idea of stealing things, acting like a thief. When Zhao Wenshui returned to old Zhao's house, he had to interrogate him and teach Zhao Wenshui a lesson. Otherwise, he would not be able to vent his anger. The other members of old Zhao's family also began to suspect Zhao Wenshui. After all, Feng Zhangxia was right. No one else in old Zhao's family would do such a thing, except for Zhao Wenshui. Hu Chunhua spat on the ground and angrily cursed, This second brother is too inhumane. He's already so old, yet he still doesn't know when to stop. How did I give birth to such a son? If something happens to him, my wife will never talk to him again. This kind of person is a scourge in this world, and he'll harm his own family. Zhao Baoshan had a serious expression on his face. He looked at Feng Zhangxia and Xin Pan Er and sighed. After all, Zhao Wenshui was his son. As a father, he couldn't bear to steal things like this. He could only say that he didn't teach his son well in the past. It was the father's fault for not teaching his son well, so he had to bear a certain amount of responsibility. This time, Zhao Wenshui reached out to his own family. Who knew if Zhao Wenshui would become a habit of stealing things and steal things from other people in the future? Chapter 22-22. Eldest daughter-in-law, when second brother comes back, I will ask him clearly. If he really stole the hairpin and did such a sneaky thing, I will definitely punish him. Feng Zhangxia nodded in response. Father, as long as you don't side with our eldest branch, I won't complain. AI. Zhao Baoshan sighed heavily again. Thus, the family stood in the courtyard and waited for Zhao Wenshui to come back. At this time, Zhao Yun Er's carriage stopped outside old Zhao's courtyard, but these people didn't notice. Zhao Yun Er also heard their conversation just now. Zhao Wenshui, who was lying on the donkey cart, had a bitter expression. When Zhao Yun Er turned her head and looked at him suspiciously, Zhao Wenshui immediately cried out, Little Yun, you have to believe your second uncle. Your second uncle was indeed a bit absurd in the past, but I really didn't steal Pan's hairpin. Zhao Wenshui finally understood the feeling of being doubted and distrusted by the whole family. Now that he had fallen to this point, everyone thought he was a filthy person. Whenever something bad happened in the family, the first thing they would think of was him. This feeling wasn't good. Being doubted by everyone, Zhao Wenshui knew that even if he wanted to argue and explain, these people would still doubt him. If he hadn't done those things in the past, he wouldn't be doubted like this now. Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Yun's eyes and felt a bit wronged. However, Zhao Wenshui's eyes were very clear. Zhao Yun was in a daze for a moment and couldn't help but believe Zhao Wenshui's words. She believed that Shen Pan's hairpin wasn't stolen by Zhao Wenshui. However, there were only a few people in old Zhao's family, so the possibility of someone else stealing it wasn't high. Old Zhao's family members couldn't be blamed for looking at Zhao Wenshui suspiciously. After all, Zhao Wenshui had a criminal record. Zhao Wenshui repeated his words aggrievedly. He held Zhao Yun'er's hand and said sincerely, "Yun'er, believe me. I really didn't steal it this time." Zhao Yun'er nodded and replied, "Yes, second uncle, I believe you." It was the first time that Zhao Wenshui heard someone say this to him. He couldn't help but feel happy. He was almost moved to tears by Zhao Yun'er's words. He held Zhao Yun'er's hand excitedly and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, you are really a good child. However, second uncle didn't let you down this time. I really didn't steal Pan's hairpin." Zhao Yun'er sighed slightly, "Second uncle, it's useless for me to believe you. You have to make the rest of old Zhao's family believe you. You have to show evidence to explain yourself. Otherwise, even if they can't find the hairpin on you, you will still think that you stole it." Zhao Wenshui suddenly felt like he was deflated. There was an indescribable sadness in his heart. However, he knew that Zhao Yun'er's words were reasonable. Zhao Yun'er cleared her throat and said helplessly, "Second uncle, whether we go back sooner or later, we have to face it. Let's go back now." "Okay." Zhao Wenshui responded helplessly. Zhao Yun'er drove Xiao Mao to old Zhao's house. As soon as they saw Zhao Wenshui lying on the donkey cart, they didn't care about Zhao Wenshui's injuries. They came up and asked Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, did you steal Pan's hairpin?" Chapter 22-23. Zhao Baoshan was a little better, but he still thought it was Zhao Wenshui. He said to Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, explain this matter clearly. Did you have anything to do with Pan losing her golden hairpin?" "Zhao Wenshui, you bastard, did you do those sneaky things again? Hurry up and return Pan's hairpin, or else I'll skin you alive." Zhao Wenshui was so angry that he grabbed Zhao Wenshui's collar and said angrily to Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui was surrounded by old Zhao's people and couldn't take it anymore. At this moment, he felt even more sullen. If he did it, it would be fine. No matter what the consequences were, he deserved it. But this time, he really didn't do it, and these people treated him like this. It really made him feel bitterly disappointed. He did do ridiculous things before, but why didn't they give him an explanation? Why didn't they give him a chance to believe him? With Zhao Wenshui grabbing his collar, Zhao Wenshui felt a little breathless, and his body hurt terribly. "Big brother, be gentler, it hurts so much." Zhao Wenshui struggled. Zhao Yun saw Zhao Wenshui being beaten and felt a little sorry for Zhao Wenshui. She said to Zhao Wenshui, "Eldest uncle, second uncle is injured. You should be gentler. Otherwise, you'll have to take responsibility if something happens." Zhao Wenshui frowned. Only then did he notice that Zhao Wenshui's body was stained with blood. What happened to him? Hu Chunhua couldn't help but ask. Before Zhao Yun could answer, Feng Zhangxia snorted coldly, "Mother, do you still need to ask?" It must be that the heavens couldn't stand second brother's sneaky behavior and severely punished him. Zhao Wenshui added, "Yes, that's right. Second younger brother has done such beastly things. He will definitely be punished by the heavens." Who would have thought that retribution would come so quickly? The heavens have dealt with it for us first. Feng Zhangxia continued, quickly tell me the truth. Where did my girl's fork go? Hand over the hairpin. Hurry up. Zhao Wenshi tightened his grip on Zhao Wenshui's collar. Zhao Wenshi felt like he was about to suffocate, and his body was about to fall apart. If this continued, he might lose his life. She replied in a weak voice, I really didn't. This is Pan's matter, it has nothing to do with me. No matter how bold I am, I wouldn't dare to enter Pan's room, let alone steal from her room. Second brother, you still don't want to admit it at this point. Are you still trying to quibble? Tell me, other than you, who else in our family could have said it? Feng Zhangxia angrily glared at Zhao Wenshui. She looked as if she wanted to eat Zhao Wenshui alive. It wasn't me. I swear to the heavens that it really wasn't me. If I stole it, then I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death, Zhao Wenshui swore. People in ancient times were superstitious. They felt that if a curse was a lie, they would really be punished by the heavens. Therefore, most people definitely didn't dare to curse this kind of oath. But this time, Zhao Wenshui made it sound so serious. He even said that he would be struck by lightning. This oath was a bit too vicious. Old Zhao's family looked at Zhao Wenshui's sincere expression as he swore. It really didn't seem like he was lying. Could it be that Shen Pan's golden hairpin really wasn't stolen by Zhao Wenshui? Feng Zhangxia said in a deep voice, second younger brother, if it wasn't you, why did you go to town today? You obviously went to sell the stolen goods. Chapter 22-24. You said you didn't, then explain why you went to town today. Yes, you must give a reason, or I won't spare you. Zhao Wenshui was frightened and hurriedly said, I went to find Jing today. I don't have a wife at home, and no one to serve me. Last time, I asked Jing to give me money to buy a wife for me, but she didn't agree. This time, I went to the town to look for her, thinking that she would give me money if I visited her. Who knew that not only did the Zheng family refuse to give me money, but they also threw me out directly. Now, I'm injured all over. Big brother, sister-in-law, father, mother, can't you see my injuries? I'm not lying. Old Zhao's family reconsidered. Coupled with Zhao Wenshui's injuries, it seemed that Zhao Wenshui was telling the truth. Zhao Baoshan angrily reprimanded Zhao Wenshui, second brother, I told you not to ask Jing for money, but you went to town to ask for money again. Don't you feel ashamed? Father, I know I was confused. I shouldn't have done it. I was wrong. I will never do it again. Zhao Wenshui promised. Seeing Zhao Wenshui admit his mistake so quickly, Zhao Baoshan was a little uncomfortable. For a moment, he didn't know how to reprimand Zhao Wenshui. The first branch was still a little suspicious of Zhao Wenshui, second brother, other than your injuries, do you have any other proof? Who knows if you pawned my golden hairpin while you were at it? Sister-in-law, Yun can prove that she was the one who sent me to town today. Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Yun, and the first branch's eyes also fell on Zhao Yun, Zhao Yun nodded and replied, second uncle was indeed with me today. I didn't see him go to the pawn shop. He was doing something else. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, big brother, sister-in-law, did you hear that? Yun is here to prove it to me. Old Zhao's family might not believe what other people said, but they believed what Zhao Yun said. Because Zhao Yun and Zhao Wenshui didn't have much of a friendship, and she didn't even get along well with Zhao Wenshui. It was impossible for her to speak up for Zhao Wenshui. Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshi were silent for a while. Then, they said, that can't prove that you didn't steal it. We still have to check it carefully. Let's search your body first, then your house. If we can't find anything, then it means you didn't steal anything. Zhao Wenshui didn't object to this suggestion. Anyway, he really didn't do it. Even if Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshi searched him, they wouldn't find anything. It was a good opportunity to prove his innocence. Okay. Big brother, sister-in-law, then search my body first, then my house. As Zhao Wenshui spoke, he took Feng Zhangxia's hand and let Feng Zhangxia check his body. He didn't think too much. He was just impatient. In Feng Zhangxia's eyes, Zhao Wenshui was beastly and wanted to take advantage of her to hold her hand. Hence, her face darkened and she glared at Zhao Wenshui unhappily. Do you want to die? You just want to take advantage of people. Zhao Wenshui's face darkened. Zhao Wenshui, if you have such dirty thoughts again, I'll chop off your hand. Chapter 22-25. However, Zhao Wenshui was too lazy to listen to Zhao Wenshui's explanation. He felt that Zhao Wenshui was up to no good, so he scolded Zhao Wenshui. If you still don't behave at this time, I'll chop off your hand later. Let's see what else you can touch in the future. Zhao Wenshui felt very aggrieved. It was fine if he was scolded for having such intentions in the past, but why was he still scolded when he no longer had such intentions? Sob, he was too pitiful. Big brother. I really didn't do it on purpose, and I won't dare to do it again. Since sister-in-law can't search my body, big brother, you can do it. Hurry up and check. Although Zhao Wenshui was a little angry, he knew the purpose of today's visit. A pair of rough hands searched Zhao Wenshui's body. He searched his entire body, even his crotch, but he still couldn't find the golden hairpin. He originally thought that Zhao Wenshui had pawned the golden hairpin and exchanged it for silver, but Zhao Wenshui also didn't have any silver on him. Other than a few copper coins that he had brought with him, there was nothing else. Zhao Wenshui frowned, somewhat puzzled and suspicious. Could it be that this golden hairpin really wasn't stolen by Zhao Wenshui? Although he felt that Zhao Wenshui was the one who stole it, it was useless if he couldn't find it. Feng Zhangxia also asked with concern, Tianhu's father, did you find anything? Zhao Wenshui shook his head. No. How is that possible? Tianhu's father, search again and touch a few more times to see if second brother hid it somewhere. You have to search carefully and don't miss a single spot. Zhao Wenshui replied in a low voice, didn't you see that I've already searched everywhere? I even touched his crotch a few times. Where else could he have hidden it? Zhao Wenshui's words made the women present pause, feeling a little embarrassed. Zhao Yun even tried to hold back her laughter. This man was touching another man's crotch, it was really interesting. Sob. No, she couldn't help but let her thoughts develop into a dirty place. Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Wenshui were blood brothers. What could happen between the two of them? Feng Zhangxia also coughed a few times in embarrassment. Since we can't find it on second brother's body, let's go to second brother's room to search. Alright, let's go look in the house. Yeah. They went into Zhao Wenshui's room and rummaged through the cabinets, but they still didn't find anything. At this point, the first branch could no longer suspect Zhao Wenshui. Everything must be based on evidence. They did not have any evidence, so they could not find anything. Plus, Zhao Wenshui had sworn an oath, so they could not blame Zhao Wenshui. But to lose a golden hairpin for no reason, there must be a problem somewhere. Shen Pan's eyes flickered. She walked up to Feng Zhangxia and said, Mother, I don't think second uncle did this. Let's investigate who entered my room. Feng Zhangxia could only agree. Then we can only do that. If we still can't find anything, we have to report to Li Zheng that a thief broke into our village. Yeah. After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, she asked who entered Shen Pan's room yesterday and today. No matter what they did, they had to be searched. Normally, old Zhao's family would not enter Shen Pan's room. Other than Feng Zhangxia, only Jin Ju stood up. Feng Zhangxia said, as her mother-in-law, I also have to be investigated. Fourth sister-in-law, help me search my room later. Chapter 22-26. As for Jin Ju, Feng Zhangxia asked curiously, Ju, why did you go into Pan's room? Without waiting for Jinju to explain, Shen Pan spoke before Jinju. Mother, it's like this. Yesterday, I brought some pastries back from my in-laws' house. Second sister-in-law was helping with this and that, so I had second sister-in-law go to my place to get a box of pastries. I also said a few words to second sister-in-law. At that time, I was also there. Second sister-in-law definitely didn't have the opportunity to steal my golden hairpin, so don't search second sister-in-law's room later. Seeing Shen Pan speak up for her and trust her so much, Jinju felt a little touched. However, Feng Zhangxia said, that won't do. Even if you believe me, you still have to search. Our old Zhao family only has so many people. Since the person who entered your room has to be searched, otherwise it's unfair to others. Jinju glanced at Feng Zhangxia, then at Shen Pan. She was already very touched that Shen Pan was willing to speak up for her. She couldn't make things difficult for Shen Pan because of this matter and cause more conflict between Shen Pan and Feng Zhangxia. Otherwise, she would always blame herself in the middle. Moreover, it was only a search of the room. It wasn't a big deal to tidy it up later. In any case, she didn't do such a sneaky thing. It was impossible to find Shen Pan's golden hairpin. If she didn't let others search her room, it would only make it more conspicuous. Eldest sister-in-law, it's fine. Just let mother and the others search my room. I'll tidy it up later. Shen Pan nodded apologetically. Thus, the people from the fourth branch entered the first branch's room to search the golden hairpin, while the people from the first branch entered Jinju's room to search. Not long after, Feng Zhangxia came out of Jinju's room with a gloomy face. She held a golden hairpin in her hand and brought it to Shen Pan to ask, Pan, girl, is this golden hairpin yours? Shen Pan looked at the hairpin in Feng Zhangxia's hand and made a surprised expression. She covered her mouth and nodded in disbelief, then looked at Jinju. At the same time, Jinju was also stunned. How could this be? How could her mother have found a golden hairpin in her room? Did he make a mistake? She clearly didn't steal Shen Pan's hairpin, but she found it in her room. Everyone in old Zhao's family looked at Jinju. Jinju felt wronged and her throat choked for a moment. With a gloomy face, Feng Zhangxia asked Jinju in a displeased tone, little girl Ju, why don't you explain to me why this golden hairpin is in your room? Did you steal it? Usually, Feng Zhangxia was very gentle to Jinju. This was the first time she spoke to Jinju in such a strict tone. Jinju's heart tightened. She shook her head innocently at Feng Zhangxia and said, Mother, I didn't steal sister-in-law's hairpin. It's not me. Zhao Xinhui, who was at the side, sneered, if it wasn't you, who else could it be? We've already found it in your house. What are you still trying to deny? He usually looked honest, but it turned out that it was all an act. How could he have the nerve to do such a sneaky thing? What kind of daughter-in-law did our old Zhao bring back? Eldest sister-in-law, Tianhu, there's something wrong with the way you two look at people. See, now you've seen it for yourself. Chapter 22-27. Zhao Xinhui had always disliked Jinju. Now that he caught Jinju committing a crime, he naturally scolded her. Feng Zhangxia listened to Zhao Xinhui's words and felt bitterly disappointed in Jinju. She used to like Jinju very much and thought that Jinju was a down-to-earth and honest child. She didn't expect that Jinju wasn't honest and actually did such a thing this time. Country people were most afraid of traitors. Jinju's behavior this time was really bad. If she hadn't personally searched Jinju's closet and found Shen Pan's golden hairpin, she wouldn't have believed that her second daughter-in-law was such a person. Jinju panicked even more, it wasn't me. It really wasn't me. Mother, sister-in-law, you have to believe me. I didn't steal it. Even if I was there, I would never steal sister-in-law's things. Zhao Xinhui sneered, little Ju, don't pretend. Why wouldn't you know how to do it? You're a country bumpkin. Pan is the daughter of a rich family. How could you have seen such a good thing like a golden hairpin? In my opinion, you were blinded by greed and stole it. Jinju looked at the others and saw that old Zhao's family members were looking at her with disappointment and disdain. After all, the golden hairpin was found in her room and she was the only one who went into Shenpan's room yesterday. No one would believe her even if she explained that she didn't steal it. People always believed what they saw. This feeling of being doubted and unable to explain was very uncomfortable. Jinju couldn't figure it out. She clearly didn't steal it. How could Shenpan's golden hairpin be in her room? This matter was too fishy. It wasn't me. Can you believe me? I don't envy sister-in-law's things. Although my family was poor before, I knew what to take and what not to take. Stealing is the most shameful thing. I'm not that shameless. Jinju's voice carried a hint of sobbing. She tried hard to hold back her tears. Zhao Tianhu looked at his wife's pitiful appearance and took a deep breath. He stood beside Jinju and said to old Zhao's family members, I believe that Zhu didn't steal it. Zhu isn't that kind of person. Even if you give her something, she'll find all sorts of excuses to reject it, let alone take it personally. Zhao Xinhui sneered, Tianhu, as the saying goes, you may know a person for a long time without understanding their true nature. Don't be fooled by Zhu. She might be one person in front of you and another behind your back. Zhao Tianhu still shook his head and said firmly, no, Zhu is not such a person. She is my wife. We have been together for a long time. I know her character. Seeing Zhao Tianhu firmly protecting her, Jinju was very touched. It didn't matter if others suspected her. What Jinju was most afraid of was that Zhao Tianhu would suspect her like everyone else. Fortunately, Zhao Tianhu did not disappoint her. Even if everyone did not believe her, he still stood by her side. Then tell me, what's with this golden hairpin? Why didn't they find it in other people's rooms, but in yours? If she didn't steal it, who else could have stolen it? Shenpan also looked at Jinju with disappointment and said to Jinju, second sister-in-law, I treat you sincerely. How can you treat me like this? If you like my golden hairpin, you can tell me. At most, I will give it to you. But now you use such a dirty method. It's really disappointing. Chapter 22-28. Jinju's heart felt like it had been poked by something, and it hurt so much. With tears in her eyes, Jinju looked at Shenpan, sister-in-law, I really didn't do it. I don't understand why the golden hairpin would appear in my room, but please believe me, I won't do such a thing. Shenpan sighed heavily, second sister-in-law, I also want to believe you, but tell me, how can I believe you now? If you didn't steal it, would it grow legs and fly into your room? Why didn't it be found in other people's rooms, but in yours? Zhao Xinhui agreed, that's right, you still want to quibble at this point. Sister-in-law, you have to punish this kind of daughter-in-law, otherwise, she will be lawless in the future and make our old Zhao family into a foul atmosphere. AI, it seems that I have to lock up my things properly in the future, lest Zhu find a loophole. After all, it's hard to guard against a thief in the family. The most frightening thing is having your things stolen by someone in the family. Zhao Xinhui's humiliating words made Jinju feel ashamed. She was speechless, and all her excuses seemed pale and powerless. That's right. Who told the golden hairpin to be found in her room? Feng Zhangxia's brows sank deeply, and she sighed deeply, Zhu, lass, tell me, why did you steal Pan's golden hairpin? You have to be honest with me, otherwise I won't forgive you. Mother, I didn't do this, how can I explain it? I know everyone suspects me, but I swear to the heavens, this matter has nothing to do with me. Shenpan pulled Feng Zhangxia's hand and said to her, Mother, let's just forget about this matter. After all, we are family. Second sister-in-law might have done this in a moment of confusion, so let's give her a chance, don't pursue it. How can that be? The act of stealing was too vile. How could he let it go so easily? Pan, lass, mother will give you an explanation. Feng Zhangxia questioned Jin Ju again. Jin Ju didn't do it. No matter how angry Feng Zhangxia was, Jin Ju still answered that she was innocent. Looking at Jin Ju's stubborn look, Feng Zhangxia was furious. What was wrong with our foresight back then? We didn't see through her and married such a daughter-in-law. God, how could you treat me like this? I thought I found an honest man, but in the end, his hands and feet are not clean. How am I going to live in the future? Feng Zhangxia cried angrily, making Jin Ju even more embarrassed. Zhao Tianhu looked at his wife and felt very distressed. He said to Feng Zhangxia, "Mother, just believe Ju, this time. Don't you know Ju's usual character? I also want to believe it, but Tianhu, tell mother, did this golden hairpin grow legs and run into your room?" Mother. Zhao Tianhu naturally didn't know, so he couldn't give a reason. But he believed that this matter absolutely had nothing to do with Jin Ju. Shen Pan pulled Feng Zhangxia's hand and said, "Mother, just listen to me. Forget it, don't pursue it anymore. It doesn't matter whether second sister-in-law stole it or not. The important thing is that the hairpin has been returned. At least it wasn't stolen by others and we lost a lot of money." Chapter 22-29. Feng Zhangxia frowned and asked, "Pan, girl, do you have any other ideas?" Mother, I think there is a need for us to split up now. What second sister-in-law did was a bit too much. If they continued to live together, who knew what would happen? Now that second brother has a family, it is fine to split up. This way, you won't have to worry about the future, right? Since second brother trusts second sister-in-law so much, I believe that they will be able to live a good life together. Hearing Shen Pan's words, the other members of old Zhao's family were stunned. How long had it been since the second branch had formed a family and they were already making a fuss about splitting up? This was definitely the first time in the village. Disregarding everything else, the other families would split up a long time after each branch had formed their own family. For example, when the third branch split up, a long time had passed and the children of the third branch had already grown up. However, there were very few families like Feng Zhangxia's who were making a fuss about splitting up. When Zhao Tianhu heard this, he looked at Shen Pan in disbelief. He never thought that Shen Pan would suggest splitting up. Wasn't her words confirming that Jin Ju had stolen something? When he thought about how his wife had been wronged by everyone, Zhao Tianhu felt even more indignant. The other members of old Zhao's family understood that splitting up now was not worth it for Zhao Tianhu. Usually, Zhao Tianhu did a lot of work and helped old Zhao's family and the first branch a lot. Zhao Tianlong was about to take the imperial examinations. Once he became a high-ranking official, wouldn't he be able to lead the first branch to live a good life? However, if they were to split up now, it would mean that Zhao Tianhu and Zhao Tianlong would have to live separately in the future. After Zhao Tianlong became a high-ranking official, he would be able to lead his family to live a good life. However, he would not be able to lead Zhao Tianhu. Then wouldn't all of Zhao Tianhu's previous contributions be wasted and he would not be able to reap any benefits? Feng Zhangxia was also thinking about this matter. She did not understand what was going on. Even if Jin Ju did something wrong, Zhao Tianhu was still her son. As a mother, she naturally didn't want her son to have a hard life in the future. Once Zhao Tianlong became a high-ranking official, the whole family would be able to enjoy life together. Seeing the conflicted look on Feng Zhangxia's face, Shen Panner felt a little anxious. Taking a deep breath, he pursed his lips and said to Feng Zhangxia, "Mother, I know that it's not a good idea to talk about splitting the family now, but there's no other way. If they didn't separate, what would happen if second sister-in-law did this kind of thing in the future? I can forget about it this time, but next time." Jin Ju said anxiously to Shen Pan, her sister-in-law, "There won't be a next time. I'm not a thief. I won't steal. Second sister-in-law. I also want to believe you," but, before Shen Panner could finish speaking, Zhao Xinhui chimed in, "Juer, who would dare to live with you like this? Then I think Pan is right, we should split up. Sister-in-law, don't hesitate anymore. Since this girl isn't being honest, then just ignore her. If we split up, at least we can have some peace and quiet. This. Feng Zhangxia frowned. Faced with the family's disbelief and overbearing attitude, Jin Ju felt very wronged. Thinking about how she was being disdained, she took a deep breath and said, "Mother, since sister-in-law doesn't want to live with me, why don't we split up? Tianhu and I will live alone." Chapter 22:30. Feng Zhangxia sighed heavily. "All right, since the two of you are willing, then let's split up. In the future, we won't have anything to do with you. You can do whatever you want. As for the theft of the golden hairpin today, since Pan doesn't pursue it, I won't pursue it either. This matter ends here." After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, Zhao Wenshi felt helpless. He wanted to live a good life as a family. Sometimes, in the face of special circumstances, it was better to split up. Just like old Zhao's family in the past, when everyone split up, there would be fewer conflicts and disturbances, and their lives would be more comfortable. There was no need for them to make a fuss and be unable to live peacefully every day. Since Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshi agreed, the family naturally decided to split up. Feng Zhangxia took inventory of everything in the house, then gave the second branch's share to them. Shen Pan was generous. She didn't want the farmland and gave it all to the second branch. For Shen Pan, farmland was dispensable. In any case, the Shen family was rich and didn't care about 1 or 2 mu of farmland. Most importantly, she and Zhao Tianlong didn't know how to farm, so it was better to be generous and give it to the second branch to gain a good reputation. When Zhao Tianlong found out, he would probably praise her for being virtuous and treating his brothers well. Only those rural women who didn't have money on hand would haggle over every ounce. In addition, once Zhao Tianlong became a high-ranking official and went to live in the city, the family's farmland would naturally be sold. It was better to give it to the second branch as a favor. After receiving such a favor from the first branch, at least they wouldn't have to take advantage of others in the future. Otherwise, when the first branch became rich and the second branch wanted to trouble them, it wouldn't be good for them to refuse. Feng Zhangxia gave some of the money in the house to Zhao Tianhu, 200 or 300 copper coins. If it wasn't for Zhao Wenshi compensating them with more than 10 taels of silver, the first branch wouldn't have much money left. In the end, the second branch received a total of 200 or 300 copper coins, 2 mu of paddy fields, 1 mu of dry land, a house, some farming tools, and food. These things weren't little, so Zhao Tianhu and Jin Ju were very satisfied. As long as the two of them were hardworking and lived well, they would definitely be able to eat and wear well. They wouldn't starve to death. After separating from the family, they started to move their things. Jin Ju was in low spirits. She was still thinking about the golden hairpin. She really didn't know what was going on, but she couldn't prove her innocence. Seeing Jin Ju's worried look, Zhao Tianhu patted Jin Ju's shoulder and said softly, "Ju, don't think too much. No matter how others don't believe you, as long as I believe you, it's fine. Now, the two of us should pack up and start a new life. Ju, as long as I'm here, I'll definitely take good care of you. You won't starve." The corner of Jin Ju's mouth pulled out a smile, and she nodded heavily in response. Yes, I know. Tianhu, it's good to have you. Silly girl, I'm your husband, so of course I have to treat you well. Yeah. Jin Ju's originally gloomy mood improved a lot. Since this matter could not be explained and could not be undone, then she would try her best not to think about it and slowly forget about it. Anyway, she really didn't steal it. As long as she had a clear conscience, it was fine. Old Zhao's house gradually quieted down. Those who needed to work went back to work, and those who needed to rest went back to rest. Shen Pan walked into the room with a victorious smile on her face. Chapter 22:31. As for the golden hairpin, she had secretly stuffed it into the second branch's wardrobe. Naturally, she couldn't force the second branch to separate from them, so she could only use such an extreme method. By framing Jin Ju for stealing, they could separate from the family and make Feng Zhangxia loathe Jin Ju. At the very least, she wouldn't treat Jin Ju like before. Ever since Jin Ju married over, Feng Zhangxia had been especially good to her. This kind of kindness directly overshadowed the way she treated her, making Shen Pan feel very uncomfortable. Now that Feng Zhangxia loathed Jin Ju, there would be a gap between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Then, Feng Zhangxia would treat her better in the future. Although it would hurt Jin Ju, she had to do it for her own sake. Now, she had achieved her goal and successfully separated from the family. She only hoped that Zhao Tianlong would come back soon. She really missed him too much. If it wasn't for Zhao Tianlong giving her something to look forward to, she wouldn't have been able to stay in old Zhao's home for even a day. Now that she had dealt with the second branch, she was in a very good mood. She couldn't help but smile. Zhao Yangyang looked at Shen Pan's happy expression and asked, "Mother, what made you so happy?" Shen Pan naturally wouldn't tell Zhao Yangyang the truth. She didn't want him to spread the news. "It's nothing. Mother just wanted to let you know that your father will be back soon." Shen Pan patted Zhao Yangyang's head and said with a gentle expression. Zhao Yangyang's eyes immediately lit up. "Mother, really? Father will be back soon?" Shen Pan nodded heavily. "Of course. How could mother lie to you?" "Good, good. Yangyang really misses father. Mother also misses your father. Let's wait for your father to come back together." N. The mother and son acted out a warm scene in the room. Outside the room, Zhao Wenshui was still lying on Zhao Yun's donkey cart. No matter what, it wasn't easy for him to clear his name. Zhao Wenshui was in a good mood. Lying on the donkey cart, Zhao Yun called out, "Little Yun, second uncle was right, right? This time it really has nothing to do with second uncle. Second uncle is not a thief." Zhao Yun frowned, thinking about what happened today. She had interacted with Jin Ju before and knew Jin Ju's temperament. How could a person who didn't like to take advantage of others steal? She believed that she had not misjudged Jin Ju. This matter definitely had nothing to do with Jin Ju. But why was that? Why do you want to frame Jin Ju? What was his goal? Zhao Yun carefully recalled the words of the people in the courtyard just now. After some analysis, he felt that there was something suspicious about Shen Pan. There was definitely something wrong with this woman. If the reason why he tried so hard to frame Jin Ju was to separate from the family, this was understandable. Unfortunately, she didn't have any evidence, so she couldn't say that it was just a wild guess. As for Jin Ju, splitting up might not be a bad thing. Based on her understanding of Zhao Tianhu and Jin Ju, both of them were people who worked hard to live their lives. As long as they worked hard, they would definitely make their lives more and more beautiful. Little Yuner, why aren't you talking? What are you thinking? Why are you ignoring your second uncle? Zhao Wenshui pushed Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun pulled back from her thoughts. Chapter 2232. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly responded. It would have been fine if Zhao Yun didn't mention it, but now that she did, he felt sore all over, as if his bones were about to fall apart. However, Zhao Yun couldn't move Zhao Wenshui by herself. After all, he was a man, and it was inconvenient for her to support him. Zhao Wenshui shouted at Zhao Wentao, who was in the courtyard. "Fourth brother, come here quickly. Help your second brother carry him into the house. Your second brother can't walk, and Yun can't move him." Seeing Zhao Wenshui's angry look, Zhao Wentao had no choice but to walk to Zhao Wenshui and carry Zhao Wenshui on his back. When Hu Chunhua saw this, she stood in the courtyard and shouted, "Fourth brother, don't carry him. Don't pay attention to him. Second brother is a troublemaker who likes to make trouble all day long. Look at what he has become. He has troubled his family. Let him fend for himself. Don't pay attention to him even if he dies." Zhao Wentao was embarrassed for a moment. He couldn't advance or retreat. With a bitter face, Zhao Wenshui looked at Hu Chunhua pitifully. Mother, I'm your son. How can you be so cruel as to watch me die? Hu Chunhua snorted coldly. Who told you to cause trouble? Even if you die, I will still be able to live in peace. Hu Chunhua's cruel words pierced Zhao Wenshui's heart like a needle. It was fine if others disliked him, but this year, his mother also disliked him. He really couldn't bear it. Why was it like this? How much of a failure did he have to be like this? However, at the same time, Zhao Wenshui faced up to the absurdity of his previous behavior and made up his mind to turn over a new leaf. Only in this way would he not be abandoned by his friends and family for the rest of his life. He would not grow old alone or die alone. Zhao Wenshui sobbed and said to Hu Chunhua, then I realized that I did a lot of ridiculous things before, but from today on, I won't do it again, and I won't make trouble for you and our family. Hu Chunhua and Zhao Wenshui were slightly startled. Zhao Yuner had thought so before. They couldn't believe that Zhao Wenshui would say such a thing. Hu Chunhua stared at Zhao Wenshui suspiciously, then muttered, I say, number 2, what kind of trick are you up to? Is your brain okay? Zhao Wenshui's mouth twitched. Then, he said seriously, Mother, of course my brain is fine. It's clear. I just suddenly realized that I have to be a good person in the future. Hu Chunhua frowned. Second brother, don't fool an old woman like me. I know what kind of person you are. Who would believe you when you say that you've turned over a new leaf? In my opinion, you'll be back to square one in a few days. Mother, it's not easy for second brother to say such a thing. Let's give second brother a chance. Zhao Wentao, who had been silent all this time, said. If a muddle-headed person could realize that his behavior was wrong and wanted to turn over a new leaf, it meant that he had already taken the first step. As for whether he could succeed in the future, that would depend on his persistence. At least it was better than him not recognizing his own shortcomings. Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Wentao, touched. He held Zhao Wentao's hand and said, Fourth brother, you're so good. You're second brother's good brother. Second brother won't let you down. Zhao Wentao returned a smile. Second brother, as long as you're willing to change, there's still a chance. We're family, so you don't have to be so polite. Chapter 2233. Hu Chunhua's eyes turned, and her heart softened at this moment. No matter what, Zhao Wenshui was her son, a piece of flesh that fell from her body. Others could ignore the hardships of carrying Zhao Wenshui for 10 months, but as a mother, it was difficult for her to completely let go of Zhao Wenshui. Hu Chunhua sighed, all right then, I'll give second brother this opportunity. I hope he can really recognize himself, turn over a new leaf, and be a good person. Don't play tricks. Mother, how can that be? I will definitely change. Zhao Wenshui said sincerely, and the smile on his face was no longer as wretched as before. Instead, there was a sense of naivety. Zhao Wentao then sent Zhao Wenshui into the house and went to invite Dr. Sun over for Zhao Wenshui. This time, Zhao Wenshui was so seriously injured because he had just recovered from his previous injury and suffered a heavy impact again. However, it was not a big deal. As long as he lay on the bed and rested for a while, he would be fine. Seeing that Dr. Sun said it was not a big deal and that there was no need to prescribe medicine, Zhao Wenshui and Hu Chunhua both breathed a sigh of relief. After all, the cost of medicine was too expensive. It would cost a lot of money to just casually grab some medicine, which was a huge expense for the villagers. If it was in the past, Zhao Wenshui felt that it was okay to spend all the money. At worst, he could just ask Zhao Jing, for money in the future. Now that he could not count on the Zheng family, he naturally had to save up the remaining money in his hands. If he had to live on, he had to be careful with his spending. Otherwise, that little money would not be able to last long. After confirming that Zhao Wenshui was fine, Zhao Yun, also breathed a sigh of relief. Since Zhao Wenshui had decided to turn over a new leaf, he had to have the fate to change. Fortunately, the heavens were merciful and did not let Zhao Wenshui suffer any serious injuries. After dealing with Zhao Wenshui's matter, Zhao Yun saw Jin Ju and Zhao Tianhu moving things because of the separation, so she walked over and wanted to help them. When Jin Ju saw Zhao Yun coming over, she felt a little embarrassed. Yun, everyone thinks I'm a thief and doesn't want to talk to me. Why did you take the initiative to talk to me? Zhao Yun smiled and said, because I believe that you didn't steal it. I know you're not that kind of person. Zhao Yun's words were like a warm current that flowed into Jin Ju's heart. Jin Ju had never been so touched before. It turned out that other than Zhao Tianhu, there were still people who were willing to believe in her and stand on her side. This feeling of being trusted was really good. Yun. Jin Ju choked with sobs and called Zhao Yun's name. She looked at Zhao Yun with a touched expression. Thank you. After a while, Jin Ju spat out these words with difficulty. Zhao Yun's smile deepened. She patted Jin Ju's shoulder and said, Second sister-in-law, what are you thanking me for? You didn't steal it. I believe you should. Those who don't believe you definitely don't understand you. In fact, you don't have to pay attention to those people. Just be yourself and have a clear conscience. Yes, yes. Jin Ju nodded heavily. Chapter 2234. Jin Ju returned a smile and did not decline Zhao Yun pretentiously. She still let Zhao Yun help. After working for more than an hour, they finally finished. After finishing here, Zhao Yun hurried Xiao Mao back to her home. Her family members thought that something had happened to her and did not come back until now. Zhao Yun told them everything that had happened today. After listening to Zhao Yun's words, the people in the third branch could not help but sigh. So many things had happened. Most of them sighed about Zhao Tianhu's separation from the family. After saying a few words, Zhao Yun was brought into the kitchen to work. Tian clung to Liang Jinxiao and insisted on being hugged by Liang Jinxiao. As a result, Liang Jinxiao could not help Zhao Yun in the kitchen. There were a lot of dishes cooked at noon. Zhao Yun was always a little tired working alone. Mu Yanfeng was free, so he went into the kitchen to help Zhao Yun. Looking at Mu Yanfeng wearing a brocade robe, which was incomparably luxurious, he looked like a noble young master. Zhao Yun pushed Mu Yanfeng out. Aya, why did you run into the kitchen like this? You're covered in oil and smoke. It's not good to dirty your clothes. Yun, it's okay. How can the clothes be dirty just like that? How about this, I'll stay a little further away and help you with the fire. This way, I won't get any oil on my body. Otherwise, how would you be able to cook and light the fire all by yourself? Zhao Yun frowned and was still a little reluctant. However, Mu Yanfeng ignored Zhao Yun's objection and sat in front of the stove. He picked up the branches on the ground and stuffed them in. Zhao Yun shook her head helplessly. Forget it. Since this guy can't stay idle, then let him be busy. Mu Yanfeng stuffed wood into the stove, and the wood creaked as he did so. Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yun, who was busy in front of the stove. She was wearing coarse clothes. Because of the steam rising from the pot, Zhao Yun's forehead was soaked with a layer of sweat. Mu Yanfeng's heart couldn't help but ache. Looking at the hard-working Zhao Yun, Mu Yanfeng couldn't help but smile. This Yun was really beautiful. Although she didn't have a devastatingly beautiful appearance, her beauty gave off a different kind of feeling. This woman had an indescribable charm that was different from other women. That was why she was so attractive. As if feeling Mu Yanfeng's burning gaze, Zhao Yun turned her head and glanced at Mu Yanfeng. Why are you looking at me? Zhao Yun asked curiously. I'm looking at my wife. I just can't get enough of you. I want to look at you more. This guy, he's starting to learn how to be glib. Zhao Yun pretended to be angry and glared at Mu Yanfeng. Hurry up and focus on the fire. Don't be distracted. Okay. The corners of Mu Yanfeng's lips curled up into a doting smile. Suddenly, the burning wood in the stove jumped out with a creak sound. The fire directly jumped onto Mu Yanfeng's brocade clothes, so much so that Mu Yanfeng's thigh was burned with a big hole. Mu Yanfeng was stunned. Fortunately, Zhao Yun'er reacted in time and quickly pulled Mu Yanfeng up, and the fire fell to the ground. Zhao Yun'er glanced at the place where Mu Yanfeng's clothes were burned. She coughed awkwardly and her face turned red. Chapter 2235. Although she wasn't the kind of woman with strong desires, she was still a normal woman. Occasionally, it was necessary to have a couple's life to adjust the relationship between husband and wife. If Mu Yanfeng's thing was really damaged, what would happen to her happiness for the rest of her life? Mu Yanfeng was obviously dumbfounded. He looked down at his lower body in a daze and mumbled, "This. What the hell is going on? The sparks are jumping out. Sigh, if I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have let you do this. This is too risky. What if something happens?" Zhao Yun muttered. She looked uncertainly at the place where Mu Yanfeng's clothes were burned. She almost reached out to touch it. "Mu Yanfeng, feel it yourself. Does it hurt? Did you get burned?" Zhao Yun asked worriedly. Mu Yanfeng shook his head. "It doesn't hurt. I didn't burn my body. It's just that my clothes are burned." Zhao Yun patted her chest. That's good, that's good. Mu Yanfeng, don't help me light the fire. What if you get burned again? The sparks like to jump around." Mu Yanfeng was also a little shaken. He wanted to persist, but how could he persist in his current embarrassed state? "Okay, Yun, I'll go change my clothes. Can you handle it alone?" "Of course I can. Go quickly. Change your clothes and put them on the bed. I'll make up for it after dinner." "Okay." Mu Yanfeng nodded helplessly. He looked at his lower body in embarrassment and then rushed out of the kitchen. Because the place burned by the sparks was too embarrassing, Mu Yanfeng was afraid that others would see it. He quickened his pace and rushed into the room. Zhao Yun quickly prepared the meal. The family sat together and ate happily. Because the day of Zhao Tianan's wedding was getting closer and closer, everyone in the third branch was immersed in a kind of joy. After 2 months, Feng Zhangxia's belly had begun to show. In a few more months, the little brother or sister in her belly would be born. After lunch, everyone went back to their rooms to rest for a while. Zhao Yun remembered that Mu Yanfeng's clothes still needed to be mended, so she took out a needle and thread. Mu Yanfeng's brocade robe was made of high-quality material. It was a pity that there were so many big holes. Although she could still wear it after mending it, it was still better not to have it broken. Zhao Yun'er felt some regret in her heart, but Mu Yanfeng did not show any signs of distress. Zhao Yun'er sighed slightly. A big shot was a big shot. She had seen a lot of good things since she was young. Naturally, she didn't care about this little thing. Mu Yanfeng's bedding pants were also burned with a big hole, right at the place where his genitals were. Zhao Yun'er took Mu Yanfeng's bedding pants and mended it. As she sewed, she felt that something was wrong, so she glanced at Mu Yanfeng's lower part. However, this time, Mu Yanfeng was wearing clothes, so she didn't see anything. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's strange reaction, Mu Yanfeng couldn't help but ask, "Yun'er, what are you looking at?" Zhao Yun'er thought about it and said what was in her heart. "Mu Yanfeng, look at the big hole in your bedding pants. It's been burned to this extent. Is your lower part really okay? Is it really not burned? There's no reason. It's impossible that the bedding pants have such a big hole, but that thing is still intact, right?" Chapter 2236. Mu Yanfeng smiled bitterly and met Zhao Yun'er's curious eyes. Then, he said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, I'm really fine. Don't worry about me." When Mu Yanfeng said this, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but wonder if there was something wrong with this guy. He was afraid that she would be worried, so he deliberately hid it from her. "Mu Yanfeng, are you really okay? If you have something wrong, you have to say it in time. It's not too late to ask Dr. Sun to come over now. If you delay and miss the best time for treatment, it might really be serious. Mu Yanfeng saw that Zhao Yuner said with a serious face, as if something really happened to him. He smiled helplessly at Zhao Yuner. Yuner, I'm really fine. If you don't believe me, how about this? You can touch it or take a look. Then you'll know if I'm lying. Zhao Yuner's face suddenly turned red. Why did it feel like Mu Yanfeng was teasing her? Let her look at his lower body or touch his lower body. How could that be? She just didn't dare to think about it. I don't want to look or touch, pervert. Zhao Yuner scolded in a low voice. Mu Yanfeng saw that Zhao Yuner's face was red, so he couldn't continue to joke. Yuner, I just want you to believe that I'm really fine. That's the only way. Otherwise, let's try it tonight. Then, you'll know if there's anything wrong with my lower body. Mu Yanfeng whispered in Zhao Yuner's ear. The breath he exhaled had a flirtatious smell, which tickled Zhao Yuner's ear. Only then did Zhao Yuner believe that Mu Yanfeng was really fine. The atmosphere between the two of them warmed up a little. She quickly moved her butt to the side, keeping a safe distance from Mu Yanfeng. After all, it was broad daylight now. It wouldn't be good if they got into a fight and did that kind of thing. Zhao Yuner lowered her head and sewed Mu Yanfeng's clothes, while Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yuner dotingly. For Mu Yanfeng, this kind of life was a kind of happiness. But when he thought that he might leave soon, Mu Yanfeng was even more reluctant to part with Zhao Yuner. After telling this matter, he didn't tell Zhao Yuner, I have something to discuss with you. I have something to discuss with you. What's the matter? There's a riot at the border. His Majesty might send me to station troops there to resolve the unrest there. Although I don't know when they will set off, the person who will be sent should be me. After hearing Mu Yanfeng's words, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but stop what she was doing. Border, wasn't that a very far place? How long would Mu Yanfeng be gone? When would he come back? It wasn't easy for the family to spend some happy days together. Was Mu Yanfeng leaving so soon? Seeing that Zhao Yuner didn't say anything and lowered her head, Mu Yanfeng knew that Zhao Yuner didn't want him to leave. Yuner, you know that His Majesty doesn't have many officials who can be put in important positions. Otherwise, how could this kind of thing fall on my head? If I had a choice, I definitely wouldn't go. I just want to protect you and Daodu. I want to protect our family and live together. Mu Yanfeng's tone was full of helplessness. It was like this in this era. Even if Mu Yanfeng had a noble status, as an official, he would still be restrained. Could he not listen to His Majesty's orders? Obviously not. Chapter 22:37. This was the helplessness of this era, forcing them to do things they didn't want to do. Compared to everything they were enjoying now, it was normal for them to have more responsibilities. Compared to the commoners who didn't have enough to eat, those people would probably do their best to listen to the emperor's arrangements if they were given the chance to live a carefree life. Since that's the case, you have no choice but to do it. Zhao Yun said to Mu Yanfeng without a trace of blame in her tone. Mu Yanfeng was very touched. He thought that Zhao Yun would blame him, or at least make a scene to express her dissatisfaction. He didn't expect Zhao Yun's reaction to be so normal. She could completely understand him. Thank you. Mu Yanfeng held Zhao Yun's hand and said emotionally. Zhao Yun smiled. What are you thanking me for? Did you think that I would be unhappy and stop you from going? Am I such an unreasonable person? No, you're the best girl. Mu Yanfeng grinned. Actually, Daodu and I have nothing to do at home. It's pretty good at home. You can eat whatever you want, and we can take care of each other as a family. But you're going to the frontier fortress alone. What are you going to do on such a long journey? Can you take care of yourself by yourself? I can do it. Don't worry about me. Seeing that Zhao Yun was worried about him, Mu Yanfeng's heart felt warm. Okay. Come back early after you finish the mission. Don't delay, okay? Yes, of course. After he finished the mission, he would definitely be anxious to return early and wouldn't be delayed on the road. Just as the two of them were talking, there was a commotion outside. It seemed to be the sound of an argument. Zhao Yun frowned. Usually, no one would come here. Who was it that came to the door? Mu Yanfeng stood up. Yun, I'll go take a look. Zhao Yuner also stood up and said, I'll go take a look too. Let's go together. With that, Zhao Yuner put down the needlework in her hands. When the two of them left the house and went to the courtyard, they found that it was the Mu family. Leading the group was old lady Mu, followed by Mu Lan's father, Mu Dade, and Mu Lan's stepmother, Luo Tsueyu. Old lady Mu's saliva flew everywhere as she shouted, my granddaughter is married, so what's wrong with me asking for money? He had raised such a daughter for nothing. He couldn't possibly let her marry someone else for nothing, right? No matter what, you have to send some money as a gift. Otherwise, our Mu family will not agree to this marriage. Mulan stood in front of old lady Mu. She frowned and said to old lady Mu with a displeased expression, Grandmother, what are you doing? How could they be so shameless and still have the nerve to come over and ask for money? Back then, I almost sold Xin, and it was I who used money to redeem her from you. Now that she's married, even though I was the one who arranged the wedding, it should be me who receives the money as a gift. When did it become your turn to come here? Hurry up and leave. Don't make a fuss here. As Mulan spoke, she was somewhat displeased as she chased them away. Zhao Yuner listened for a while and understood what was going on. The Mu family had probably heard the news that Mu Hin was going to marry over, so they came over, hoping that their Zhao family would give them some money as a gift. It was normal for families to give money as a gift when they were getting married. If Mu Hin had not experienced those things back then, their Zhao family would definitely give some money when Zhao Tianan married Mu Hin. Chapter 2238. Now, Mu Hin's only family members were Mulan and her family. Giving Mulan money as a gift was enough. As for giving it to the Zhao family, it was purely a waste. Why should they benefit from a family that would even sell their daughter for money? In addition, Mulan had indeed spent money to save Mu Hin, so she had severed ties with the Mu family. No matter what, the Mu family had not been kind enough to ask for money this time. Mulan, what are you talking about, you little b*tch? No matter what, I'm your grandmother and your father is still around. You two girls are your parents' children. Now that Mu Hin is getting married, her family won't get a single cent as a gift. Does this count? Anyway, I don't care. If their family doesn't take out the money today, they can forget about the wedding. I'll say it here. Don't give them a chance. Don't blame us when they screw up the wedding. Old lady Mu put her hands on her hips and continued to spit out as she spoke righteously. Mulan was so angry that her chest hurt from old lady Mu's anger. She had seen shameless people, but she had never seen such shameless people. When she thought about how these shameless people had given birth to her and raised her, Mulan felt that she could not accept it. Dade, what are you standing there for? Don't you know how to speak? Hurry up and say a few words to your daughter. Old lady Mu commanded Mu Dade. Only then did Mu Dade step forward a little embarrassedly. However, unlike old lady Mu, he negotiated with Mulan nicely. Lan, your grandmother's words are not without reason. Marriage is decided by the elders. You and Xin are both my children. Now that she's married, no matter what, she can't cast me aside as her father, right? At least give some money as a token of appreciation. Sigh. Lan, you don't know that our family's life is not easy now. I heard that Xin's future in-laws are very rich. Just look at how big their house is and you can tell that their family is definitely not lacking in money. Since that's the case, there's no harm in letting them take out some betrothal gifts. Since he's rich, he can't be unwilling to part with such a small amount of money, right? Luo Tsueyu, who was standing beside Mu Dade, chimed in, that's right, that's right. The money here must be given to the maternal family. In my opinion, the in-laws are so rich. The 20 taels that mother asked them to give seems to be too little. In my opinion, it should be at least 50 taels. Old Lady Mu coughed lightly. Of course, the more the better. Who dislikes you for giving too much? Mulan's face darkened when she heard the Mu family's words. Just how thick-skinned were these people? Instead of saying that they were here to ask for gifts, it was better to say that they were here to rob. For a normal family, a few taels of silver would be enough as a betrothal gift for their daughter. How could they ask for so much money? Mulan couldn't control herself and directly scolded. 50 taels? Why don't you go and rob them? They would probably be able to snatch it faster. Although the Zhao family was rich, there was no need for them to reject their own money, right? Giving it to you for free. Ha, dream on. Not to mention 20 taels, even 50 taels, don't expect to get a single cent today. Bah! Each and every one of you is shameless. What did you do in the past? You actually have the nerve to come here today. I think you didn't learn your lesson last time. Do you want to come here again today? Faced with Mulan's threat, the Mu family was naturally afraid. But they couldn't bear to part with so much money. Chapter 2239. It's right and proper to ask for money when marrying off a daughter. How are we robbing? Mulan, it's not like I'm asking you for money. Why are you calling me in such a hurry? Now, we just want to ask the Zhao family, do they still miss our daughter? If they don't give us money, we'll take Mu Hin back and not marry off. Old Lady Mu raised her chin in an overbearing manner. Mulan spat on the ground. Bah, I'll see if you're done. I spent that money and you chased Xian away. It has nothing to do with you. To be honest, the Zhao family has already given me money. If you have the ability, you can take it back from me. You. Old Lady Mu pointed at Mulan angrily. Who would have thought that Mulan, who was originally very gentle, would become like a shrew and not listen to reason at all? Dade, look at the good daughter you've raised. How did she turn out like this? Mu Dade frowned and then discussed with Mulan. Lan, you're just an older sister. It's against the rules to give you money as a gift. Quickly take it out and let us take it back. We won't fuss over your rude behavior to your grandmother today. Mulan sneered. It sounded as if he was afraid that they would fuss over it. Father, how is it against the rules? From the day you planned to sell Xian, you're no longer worthy of being her father. Since she's already left the Mu family and lived with me for so long, she's naturally cut off all ties with the Mu family. I gave you money back then and now I'm only taking it as repayment. I still have to buy some dowry for Xian. You want to take it back? Fine, they gave you 10 taels as a gift. But Xian's dowry must be at least 8 taels. There's still 2 taels left. I'll give you 2 taels. But I gave you 5 taels back then. You have to return the 5 taels I gave you, right? After Mulan's careful calculation, not only did the Mu family not get any benefits, but they also had to fork out 3 taels of silver to give to Mulan. How could they be willing? Old Madame Lin was in disbelief. The Zhao family is so rich, but they only gave him 10 taels. I say, Mulan girl, do you think I'm an old fool who's trying to scare me? Mulan smirked. So what if he's rich? Was 10 taels of silver too little? Grandma, I would like to ask, how many of my cousins received 10 taels of silver as a gift when they got married? I don't think so, right? At most, it would be 6 taels. Our family seems to have added 2 taels of dowry. In the entire village, there aren't many families who would give their daughters 10 taels of silver as a gift. Therefore, the Zhao family has already given Xinxin 10 taels of silver as a gift. What's there to be picky about? Old Lady Mu's back was turned and she was speechless for a moment. Luo Zueyu watched from the side and sighed inwardly. This girl's eloquence was amazing. Normal people really couldn't win against her. Anyway, 10 taels of silver is too little. We came all the way here today, so we have to take out some money as a token of appreciation, right? I don't want 50 taels, but 10 or 20 taels must be given. Otherwise, don't blame us for causing trouble on Mu-hin's wedding day. For such a joyous day like a wedding, it would indeed affect the mood if something were to happen. It wouldn't be good if something that was supposed to be joyous became unhappy. Chapter 2240. Zhao Yun frowned, thinking about how to deal with this kind of scoundrel. Mulan and Mu-hin had such a family, it was really troublesome. Zhao Yun was very clear that if she satisfied the Mu family's request now, she would really give them 10 taels of silver as a wedding gift in order to keep the peace. If the Mu family became pampered and spoiled, they might come to the third branch to make a fuss and ask for money when they were short of money. So there were some things that one could not take the first step. Once one took the first step, one would lose. When the time comes, I'm afraid that you won't have the life to make a fuss. Zhao Yun's cold voice sounded. She had a smile on her face, but it was so cold that it made people tremble with fear. The Mu family looked at Zhao Yun, not understanding the meaning of Zhao Yun's words. You, what are you going to do? Are you trying to scare us? Old Lady Mu asked angrily. Zhao Yun shook her head. I'm not going to do anything, but once you do, you will definitely not have a good ending. When the time comes, I will make the wedding go smoothly, and no one will be able to ruin it. The Mu family did not understand Zhao Yun's words, but they still shouted arrogantly. If you don't give us the money now, we will make a fuss when the time comes. We will bring Xin home and see how you are going to make the wedding go smoothly. Zhao Yun smiled. Since you know that the Zhao family is rich, do you know why we are rich? Why? Because we have connections with the officials. Look, this is the current heir apparent. With him around, when the time comes, he will send some people to arrest you if you make a fuss. Zhao Yun said and pointed at Mu Yanfeng. Mu Yanfeng could not help but want to laugh. Yun was smarter than before, she knew how to use his identity to intimidate people. Sure enough, the Mu family was stunned and seemed a little scared. Looking at Mu Yanfeng's dressing and temperament, he did not seem like an ordinary person. Saying that he was the heir of the crown prince, Luo Zueyu muttered, he's the heir apparent? Are we supposed to believe whatever you say? Who can prove it? Why don't you go and ask around? Everyone in our village knows. Old Lady Mu was afraid, but at the same time, her heart was filled with unwillingness. What's wrong with the heir? Why should he be in charge of our daughter's gift money? Isn't that unreasonable? Zhao Yun smiled again. I forgot to tell you that our county's deputy district magistrate will also come. If you make trouble, you can make things clear in front of the deputy district magistrate. I'd like to ask the county magistrate if there's anyone like you who would sell off their daughter and wait for her to get married before asking for money as a gift. The arrogance of the members of the Mu family was reduced a little when they heard the name of the deputy magistrate. The deputy county magistrate was in charge of these trivial matters. Yang City forbade human trafficking in the open. Usually, such transactions were done in secret. Those who were caught would be punished. When they sold Mu-hin and complained to the deputy district magistrate, how could they get away with it? Why did the Zhao family have so many fans? Not only did they have connections with the current Shitzi, but they also had connections with the people of the county deputy. They were definitely not ordinary farmers. Luo Zueyu came to old Lady Mu and asked her weakly, Mother, do you think what this girl said is true? Will the deputy district magistrate come here? How can she be so influential? Chapter 2241. Mother. What if they're just trying to trick us? Are we just going to forget about the gift money? We spent a lot of effort to come here today, we can't go back empty-handed, right? Luo Zueyu was unwilling to give up. The Mu family was so poor that they couldn't live on. If she could get some money back, she could at least improve her life and ask the Mu family to buy more meat for her. After not eating meat for a few days, she felt terrible. She always felt uncomfortable and unhappy. But what if they're telling the truth? Are we going to give up our lives for money? What if we're thrown into jail by the county magistrate? That's equivalent to losing our lives. My dad doesn't even have a son, how can we let him get into trouble? Old Lady Mu voiced out her worries. No matter what, life was more important than anything else. Seeing Zhao Yun's serious expression, it didn't seem like she was lying. Mu Dade was a timid person. He tugged at Old Lady Mu's sleeve and said, "Mother, why don't we just let it go? We don't have to sacrifice ourselves for a bit of money, they have the support of the heir presumptive and the county magistrate, how can we fight them? Aren't we just asking for trouble?" Old Lady Mu glanced at Mu Dade and saw through his thoughts. She scolded him softly, "Useless thing, how did I give birth to such a timid son?" Although she was also worried, she wasn't as nervous as Mu Dade. Mu Dade lowered his head and accepted the scolding. He didn't dare to talk back to Old Lady Mu. He was just expressing his thoughts. Why was he being scolded again for no reason? "Mother, what do we do now?" Luo Tsueyu frowned and asked. "Wait a minute, let me think." Seeing that Old Lady Mu wanted to cause trouble again, Mulan couldn't stand it anymore and warned her, "Grandmother, don't think that they're bluffing. They're telling the truth. Don't let yourself suffer when you don't get any benefits. There's a good saying that citizens don't fight with officials. Unless you don't want your life, you can try and see who will suffer in the end." Zhao Yun also smiled and said to the Mu family, "Today, I'm not giving you a single cent, hurry up and get lost. If you're not satisfied, you can come and make trouble on that day." The Mu family was unwilling to leave just like that. When they met Zhao Yun's cold eyes, they wanted to retreat. At this moment, Xiao He came out of the house at the right time and jumped in front of Zhao Yun. Then, he bared his fangs and barked at the Mu family. Originally, the Mu family didn't want to leave, but when they saw Blackie's to leave. Old Lady Mu scolded Mulan, "You damned girl, hurry up and help us drive this damned dog away." Mulan sneered, "Grandmother, how can I help you? It's not my dog. Besides, dogs can't be reasoned with. After all, they can't understand human language. I can't help you even if I want to." "You." Old Lady Mu's face darkened. On one hand, she was angry with Mulan. On the other hand, she was afraid of little Blackie. Luo Tsueyu saw how fierce little Blackie was and quickly hid behind Mu Dade. Even if little Blackie rushed over to bite, it would bite Mu Dade first and not her. Mu Dade was so scared that his legs trembled. He said to Old Lady Mu in a trembling voice, "Mother, let's hurry up and leave. It's not worth it to be bitten by a dog. You only have so little guts." Chapter 2242. Old Lady Mu ran away in fright. This damn dog really bit her. Normally, a dog's bark was just to scare people. She had met many dogs at her age, but she did not expect Zhao Yun's dog to really bite people. Fortunately, Old Lady Mu ran quickly, or else Little Black would have bitten her leg. At this moment, Little Black was biting Old Lady Mu's pant leg. Old Lady Mu was so frightened that she quickly retracted her leg, but Little Black still refused to let go. Old Lady Mu was so frightened that she hurriedly called out to Mu Dade, "Dade, hurry, hurry and save Mother. Chase this damn dog away." Mu Dade laughed even harder. His legs trembled as he said to Old Lady Mu from afar, "Mother, I want to save you, but I don't dare to. I'm scared of dogs." As Mu Dade spoke, he pushed Luo Tsueyu aside and said, "Wife, hurry and save Mother. I'm scared." Luo Tsueyu glared at Mu Dade fiercely and scolded him, "Mu Dade, you heartless thing. You're scared, but I'm not. I'm your wife, how dare you push me away? Is your mother more important than me? I've slept with you for so many days, and I even want to give birth to your son. If anything happens to me, do you expect your mother to sleep with you at her age and give birth to your son?" Luo Tsueyu was anxious, so she spoke shamelessly. Everyone who heard her secretly shook their heads. Zhao Yun felt that the saying, "birds of a feather flock together," was accurate. Even if the Mu family's weirdos married another wife, it would be a stupid woman like Luo Tsueyu. Mu Dade was speechless. He looked at old lady Mu and then at Luo Tsueyu, his face conflicted. To him, his mother was very important, but his wife was also important. Just as Luo Tsueyu said, if he lost his wife, who would sleep with him and give birth to his son? Sigh. Mu Dade sighed heavily. He could only blame himself for being useless. He was afraid of everything and could not protect his mother or his wife. You two useless, heartless things. Old Lady Mu gloomily glared at Mu Dade and Luo Tsueyu. Old Lady Mu could only kick her legs and continue to pull from Xiaohei's mouth. Blackie whimpered a few times and suddenly let go of Old Lady Mu. Old Lady Mu used too much strength and lost her balance, falling directly to the ground. Ouch! The moment Old Lady Mu fell to the ground, she let out a miserable cry. She was already old and couldn't stand the torment. After such a heavy fall, he felt that his legs were about to break. Especially the area around her pelvis, it felt as if it had cracked. It was so painful that she grimaced and broke out in cold sweat. Old Lady Mu waved at Mu Dade and said, "Quick, come here and pull me up." "All right." Mu Dade responded. Just as he was about to help the old lady up, Xiaohei turned around and bared his fangs at Luo Tsueyu. Luo Tsueyu's heart suddenly tightened. She was so frightened that she wanted to run away, but Xiaohei had already caught up and bit Luo Tsueyu's but without hesitation. Luo Tsueyu screamed even more miserably than Old Lady Mu. Xiaohei's bite almost bit off a piece of flesh from her butt. Seeing Xiaohei's awe-inspiring manner of teaching a weirdo a lesson, Xiao Yun felt great. Compared to moving his mouth, it seemed that Little Black's way of directly biting people was more satisfying, and also more frightening. Chapter 2243. Dade, save me. Hurry and help me get this damn dog away. I'm going to die from the pain. Luo Tsueyu instructed Mu Dade. Old Lady Mu stopped Mu Dade and said, "Brat, I'm your mother. Help me up first. My bones are going to break at this age. Dade, if you don't save me, I'm going to be bitten to death by this damn dog. Let's see where you can find a wife later." Luo Tsueyu shouted. Mu Dade was conflicted for a while. He felt that his wife was the most important. So he rushed towards Luo Tsueyu. Although he was a little timid, he was using his last bit of courage to chase Little Black away for his wife. Old Lady Mu suddenly understood. So this was how her son, whom she had raised painstakingly, treated her. He was so smitten by a woman that he didn't even care about his own mother. Why did she still worry about him every day? Now she only felt her heart turn cold. It was an indescribable pain. Xiao Yun was afraid that someone would die. She raised her voice and said, "Are you going to scram now? If you scram, I'll let you go. If you don't, I'll let you go and continue biting." The Mu family members were so frightened that they replied without hesitation, "Scram, scram, we'll scram now." Seeing that the Mu family members were obedient, Xiao Yun waved at Little Black. "All right, Little Black, stop biting. That's enough." When Little Black heard Xiao Yun's call, he wagged his tail and ran towards Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun had a faint smile on her face. It was indeed a dog with intelligence. No matter how fierce Little Black was to others, he was just a cute dog in front of her. At this moment, the Mu family members didn't know how Xiao Yun felt. If they knew that Xiao Yun praised Little Black for being cute, they would definitely refute. How was this dog cute? It was clearly a dead dog, a vicious dog. They had never seen a dog so fierce that it would bite anyone it saw. Now that Little Black was so fierce, they didn't dare to continue causing trouble. Even though they were unwilling, they could only choose to leave. Old Lady Mu and Luo Tsueyu were both seriously injured. They couldn't walk and relied on Mu Dade alone. Seeing that Mu Dade was more concerned about Luo Tsueyu, Old Lady Mu felt uncomfortable. She pointed at Mu Dade and scolded, "You heartless thing. I gave birth to you, raised you, and took care of you for so long. Do you only remember this stinky woman who just got married? You don't even care about your own mother." Mu Dade's face revealed a trace of embarrassment. "Mother, how could that be? It's just that you can sit on the ground for a while, but Chui Yu is being chased by that dog. If I don't help her, won't I be bitten to death?" Old Lady Mu was still glaring at Mu Dade with a pair of gloomy eyes. All right, don't talk about this with me. Why didn't you come to help me when I was being chased by that dog? You've forgotten your mother after marrying a wife. You don't have a conscience." Mulan watched the scene from the side and laughed in her heart. Old Lady Mu deserved it. Her father was even willing to sell his own daughter. What was his own mother to him? Rather than caring about Luo Tsueyu, he cared more about his son. After all, Luo Tsueyu could only give birth to a son for him. Otherwise, where would his son come from? Good karma was a cycle of reincarnation. Now that it was Old Lady Mu's turn, it really made people secretly happy. "Mother." Mu Dade was not good with words. He didn't know how to defend himself now. Chapter 2244. Thinking about the 2 times she came to Shui Lan village, she was only looking for trouble for herself. Old Lady Mu felt aggrieved. Last time, her head was broken by Mulan and she still had headaches from time to time. This time, she almost broke her bones because of a dog. If she wasn't lucky, she might have been bedridden for the rest of her life. Mu Dade spent a lot of effort to pull Old Lady Mu up from the ground. "Mother, are you okay?" Mu Dade asked with concern. Old Lady Mu snorted. "Okay. How can I be okay? When you reach my age, you can try to fall and see if you can break all your bones." "Mother, can you walk? It's such a long way. How can we go back?" Mu Dade started to worry. Old Lady Mu frowned. The 2 villages were separated by quite a distance. If they walked back normally, it would just be a little tiring. But now that she had fallen, she was afraid that her body would hurt badly if she walked a few steps. She couldn't stay in Shui Lan village even if she didn't walk. She had to go back. "Help me walk slowly. If you can't walk, then rest. We'll walk back eventually," Old Lady Mu said after thinking for a while. Mu Dade was in a difficult position. "Mother, Tsueyu's butt and thigh were bitten by a dog. She can't walk. I have to carry her back and support you. How can I do that? How can I carry both of you?" Old Lady Mu glanced at Luo Tsueyu. This damned woman let his son carry her. Wouldn't she crush his son? "Dade, what are you talking about? Even without me, your woman is so heavy. Can you carry her? How long can you walk with her on your back?" Mu Dade looked troubled as he nodded and replied, "Mother, I know, but what can I do? Tsueyu really can't walk, we can't just leave her here, right?" Old Lady Mu spat. That woman is so pretentious. She has so much meat on her body. So what if she's bitten? How can she not be able to walk? "I can walk away now. At most, we can just bear with it. Anyway, you can't carry it. Don't break your bones when the time comes. If that happens, none of us will have a good time." Luo Tsueyu said to Old Lady Mu with a bitter face, "Mother, I'm not pretentious. I really can't walk. Why don't you think of a way? It's impossible for us to walk back." Zhao Yun looked at the 3 people who couldn't leave because they couldn't stay in his house. She was really bored. He then said to the 3 of them, "If you want to leave, there are many ways. Our village has an ox cart. It costs 30 copper coins per trip. At most, you can rent an ox cart and go back." Mu Dade listened to Zhao Yun's words and felt that it was very good. "Mother, I think this method is good. Why don't we rent an ox cart to go back? Otherwise, we can't walk at all." Old Lady Mu, on the other hand, was distressed about the 30 copper coins. Today, she didn't get a single copper coin and suffered a lot. She couldn't possibly pay more now, could she? He couldn't accept it. Good my ass. 2. Chapter 22:45. Luo Zuiyu chimed in, Mother, just spend the 30 copper coins. Anyway, I really can't walk anymore. If I walk back, I'll definitely die. I still have to give birth to Dade's son. If something happens to me, where will Dade's son, your eldest grandson, go to? Old Lady Mu looked at Mu Dade exasperatedly, then glanced at Luo Zuiyu. How unlucky was their Mu family to have such a daughter-in-law and son. Both of them were worrisome. They didn't know how to save money and only thought about giving it away. Mulan couldn't stand it any longer. She said to Mu Dade and Old Lady Mu, if you can get out of here quickly, I'll help you pay for the 30 copper coins. The members of the Mu family looked at Mulan with joy in their eyes. Old Lady Mu's originally cloudy eyes brightened. Really? Of course it's true. Who told you to get out quickly? The further the better. Old Lady Mu reached out and said to Mulan, all right, give us the 30 copper coins and we'll leave now. Mulan rolled her eyes and quickly took out the 30 copper coins from her pocket and placed it in Old Lady Mu's hand. Take it. Old Lady Mu chuckled and quickly dragged Mu Dade and Luo Zuiyu away. Seeing the Mu family leave slowly but at least gradually disappear from their sight, Mulan heaved a heavy sigh of relief. She then looked at Zhao Yun, apologetically and said to Zhao Yun, Yun, I'm really sorry for causing trouble for you. Zhao Yun, also smiled and replied comfortingly, it's no trouble. You can't do anything when you meet such a family. It has nothing to do with you. Sigh, I just didn't expect them to be so thick-skinned and want to ask for money again. This family is simply obsessed with money. They'll do anything for money. They didn't ask for it now, did they? Alright, Mulan, don't be angry with them. Next time, if they dare to come again, just ignore them and teach them a lesson. Mulan nodded heavily and replied, okay, I got it. When dealing with such a thick-skinned person, they had to be dealt with in a special way. That's right. Yunner, I think your little black is very powerful today. It's really amazing. It was the best way to chase away those weirdos. Later, I'll see if anyone has a puppy. I'll bring one back and raise it. When the time comes, it'll be like your little black. When I see those annoying people, I'll let it bite them. I'd like to see if those people still dare to do so. Zhao Yunner chuckled and nodded. Okay, then you can bring a puppy back. Since my little black is here, I can teach you. Little Hay seemed to understand and wagged its tail at Zhao Yunner. Zhao Yunner patted Little Black's head and praised him, Little Black, you're great today. I'm going to cook something delicious for you to reward you. Little Black wagged its tail even faster. After this incident, it was equivalent to a small interlude. Zhao Yunner didn't take it to heart. When the people from the third branch heard Zhao Yunner say that the county magistrate would come to attend Xiao Tianan's wedding, they asked if it was true. Chapter 22:46. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao couldn't come back to their senses. Even the county prime minister came to attend their wedding. How much face did he have? When they talked about it later, everyone would say that the third branch was great. Yunner. He said that if the county magistrate comes, what should we do if we neglect him? If we do something wrong, will the county magistrate be angry? Zhao Wenhua began to worry, so he asked Zhao Yunner. Receiving the county magistrate was not like receiving ordinary people. They were always afraid that something would happen and it would have a bad influence. If the county magistrate was angry, they would have to bear the consequences. Zhao Yunner smiled and replied, Father, what are you afraid of? Our Shitzi is not so particular. What does he want to be particular about? But, Father, the county magistrate's family is very approachable. They are not so picky. If they were picky, they would not take the initiative to ask to attend our wedding. They know the things in the countryside very well. Of course, they can't be compared with the things in the city. We just need to do what we should do. We don't need to think too much about the rest. Zhao Wenhua sighed, then nodded and said, "Okay, since you said so, we can only try our best. We don't need to think too much." Okay. The days passed quickly. It was not long before the day of Zhao Tianan's wedding. The two families were preparing together in full swing. The house was decorated and it was very festive. Now Zhao Yun'er's family was a well-known figure in the village. Therefore, after the wedding, the people in the village basically came to his house to join in the fun. It was a good deal to give a gift of dozens of copper coins and eat a delicious meal. If it was other families' banquets, they might not be able to eat well. However, after these banquets were held by old Zhao's family, which banquet was shabby. This time it was the third branch's turn. Of course, the third branch couldn't make their own banquet worse than others. The day before, Zhao Yun and Mulan had bought all the dishes for the banquet. This time, because the two families were close to each other, Zhao Yun'er and Mulan decided to eat together. Mulan's relatives had sent gifts over, but there were very few of them. They just happened to arrange a table. It was very suitable for Zhao Yun'er to join them just now. Because of Zhao Tianan's wedding, Zhao Yun'er couldn't handle it alone, so she invited Feng Zhangxia, Qian Hongzhao, and Jin Zhu. In addition, she found 2 old nannies in the village. With these people helping her, at least she could relax a little. As for Mulan, Zhao Yun'er did not let her work with her. Instead, she helped Mu Hin dress up. He had to take good care of the bride, which would take up a lot of time. In the room, Zhao Tianan couldn't wait to put on a wedding dress. Because he was going to marry Mu Hin today, Zhao Tianan was very excited. He woke up early and couldn't sleep at all. Now, he only hoped to rush over immediately and carry Mu Hin to his house. Because the two families were too close to each other, only a few steps away, but they prepared a sedan chair, so they had to carry it around. Therefore, under Zhao Yun'er's arrangement, Zhao Tianan and his family's team went to Mulan's house to pick up the bride. They went around the village's road, and then carried her back to the third branch's house. This way, it would take some time to get a taste of the wedding. Chapter 2247. In Mulan's house, Mu Hin was also wearing a custom-made wedding dress. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. It was indeed true. After putting on this festive and beautiful wedding dress, Mu Hin looked more delicate. Mulan first combed Mu Hin's hair. There was no one else in the house. She and Mu Hin were the only ones together, so the job of combing Mu Hin's hair fell to Mulan. Mulan combed Mu Hin's hair. Then, she picked a few accessories that Zhao Yun had given to Mu Hin previously and put them on. The beautiful golden buyao swayed, adding a touch of beauty and playfulness. Mulan also put a pearl necklace on Mu Hin's neck and 2 bracelets on her wrist. After dressing up, she looked like a lady from a wealthy family. She did not look like a country girl at all. Mulan looked at Mu Hin in the mirror. After dressing up carefully, she looked like a pretty girl. If the groom saw Mu Hin like this, he would definitely like her. However, the bright red color made Mulan's eyes turn red. Mulan could not help but wipe the tears from the corners of her eyes. She hoped that Mu Hin could marry into a good family. Now that she saw Mu Hin getting married, she felt a different feeling in her heart. She felt a strong reluctance to part with her. Although they could still live together and see each other often in the future, it was still a little different. After marrying into someone else's family, she would belong to someone else. In the future, Mu Hin would not be the younger sister who hid behind her and needed her protection. She would be someone else's wife, someone who wanted to protect her and take care of her. Mulan was lamenting that her mother had died too early. It was her mother again. When she saw Mu Hin getting married, she would probably be very happy. The 2 girls that she had painstakingly raised were finally a family and had started a family. Seeing Mulan crying, Mu Hin quickly held Mulan's hand and comforted her. "Sister, don't cry. I'm just getting married. It's not like we won't be able to see each other in the future. After marrying Tianan, we can still see each other every day. Isn't that a good thing? Why are you crying?" Mulan hurriedly wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and smiled. Yes, Xin, you're right. This is a good thing. I really can't cry. I was just a little excited for a moment, thinking that our family's Xin has grown up and actually reached the age of marriage. You don't need me to protect you anymore. Tianan is a good boy. He'll definitely dote on you and love you. I'm relieved to hand you over to him. Upon hearing Mulan's words, Muhin choked with sobs. Sis, alright, let's not cry. Today is your big day. Come, let's laugh together. Mulan hurriedly forced a smile. Muhin also forced a smile, but her grip on Mulan's hand tightened. Sis, thank you. Thank you for taking care of me all this time. After mother died, you're the only one I have. If it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would be like now. Sis, I'll always remember how good you've been to me. Hey, what are you talking about? I'm your sister. No matter what, it's something I should do. Don't say thank you. Is there a need to be so distant and courteous with me? Anyway, sis, I just want to thank you. It's so good to have you around. Silly girl, stop talking. Hurry up and tidy up. Yes. Chapter 2248. Just then, Mulan's sister-in-law, Madame Qi, and Mrs. Zhu came in. Mulan frowned and said to the two of them, "What are you two doing here?" Mulan's tone was a little unhappy. Obviously, she didn't want to see Madame Qi and Mrs. Zhu. In any case, she felt that when Madame Qi and old Madame Zhu came over, they definitely wouldn't cause any trouble. Madame Qi smiled. Second sister-in-law, why are you speaking so rudely? Your younger sister is getting married today. Can't we come to join in the fun? We're a family. Isn't your younger sister equivalent to my younger sister? Seeing that she's getting married, I'm also happy. What's wrong with coming to join in the fun? Mulan rolled her eyes and said coldly to Madame Qi, "My younger sister is my younger sister. What does it have to do with you? Don't flatter yourself." Second sister-in-law, why are you like this? Your mouth is full of cannons, as if someone has provoked you. I just don't want to see you here. That won't do. We won't leave. It's such a joyous day. Don't tell me you're chasing us away. Aren't you afraid of ruining the atmosphere? Madame Qi raised her chin and looked fearless. She knew that most people wouldn't choose to make a fuss today. After all, the most important thing was the celebration. Mulan was infuriated, but when she thought about Qi Shi's words, she really couldn't chase them away since they were so thick-skinned. Mulan gritted her teeth and warned Madame Qi and Mrs. Zhu, "It's okay for you to come here to join in the fun. You'd better cause trouble for me. Otherwise, I'll make you suffer." "Alright, we're just here to join in the fun." Madame Qi replied with a smile. Now that the busy farming season had passed, the villagers had some leisure time. It was rare for Madame Qi to come across such a lively day, so she naturally came to join in. Otherwise, she would be bored to death at home all day. Other than joining in the fun, she also wanted to eat at the banquet. Their eldest branch had only sent a gift. Normally, when people went to a banquet, there wouldn't be so many people at home. At most, only men would go over to eat or take care of their children. Women would stay at home and not be able to eat. And Madame Qi was a glutton. Thinking of the delicious food at the banquet, how could she leave her behind? Now that they were thick-skinned enough to join in the fun, they naturally sat down and started eating when the banquet started. Anyway, they were family. She did not believe that Mulan would really chase her away and not let her eat. Seeing Muhin sitting in front of the dressing table with a golden buyao on her head and expensive jewelry on the side, Madame Qi's eyes immediately lit up. She had never seen such beautiful jewelry before. And there were even gold ones. The glistening yellow gold was very eye-catching. Just by looking at it, one could tell that it was worth a lot of money. Madame Qi was secretly envious. She had never expected the second branch to be so wealthy. Even these gold jewelry could be taken out in piles. I say, second sister-in-law, aren't you a little too rich? Sister just got married and stuffed all these good things. Why don't I see you and second brother bringing money to show filial piety to mother? Mother is living a hard life now. Our eldest branch has no money and can't do anything about it. Your second branch has money, but don't you know how to express your gratitude? Madam Chi said sarcastically. When Mrs. Zhu heard Madam Chi's words, she suddenly looked displeased. Chapter 2249. Mulan rolled her eyes. This young master of hers just liked to stir up trouble. She couldn't wait to cause more trouble for his family. She just couldn't bear to see their family living well. Sister-in-law, what are you talking about? If you want to be filial, it's naturally your and eldest brother's turn to be more filial. It's not like you don't know how we separated from the family. Your first branch and third branch have taken more benefits, so now you're shouldering more responsibilities. Moreover, my family isn't very rich. The jewelry my little sister is wearing was bought with the help of Yun. I can't get so much money. I can only say that my little sister is lucky to have married into Yun's family. Today, she has the opportunity to wear gold and silver and be envied by others. Madam Chi pursed her lips and felt uncomfortable. She stared at Mu Hin a few more times. The more she looked at Mu Hin's jewelry, the more envious she became. When would their first branch become so rich that they could buy her some gold jewelry to wear? In the entire village, there weren't many women who could wear gold jewelry. Unfortunately, she could only think about it enviously in her heart. She knew that this wish was too far away and could not be realized at all. At this time, Zhu Dainiu also came over to join in the fun. If Zhu Sanle hadn't been injured last time and was still lying in bed, he would definitely want to join in the fun today. Zhu Dainiu was a man, so he couldn't directly enter Mu Hin's boudoir like Madam Chi and Mrs. Zhu. He could only curiously stretch his head out and look outside, looking forward to seeing Mu Hin dressed up beautifully. In the past, he was really attracted to Mu Hin. This little girl was too beautiful. During the days when he lived in the family Zhu's old house, he often saw Mu Hin, so he had these strange thoughts about her. However, he didn't have the fortune to be with Mu Hin. He was already married and had a career. He was old, and he wasn't a handsome man. It was normal that Mu Hin didn't like him. However, this didn't prevent him from having Mu Hin in his heart. When he saw Mu Hin getting married, he was even more reluctant to part with her. If possible, he wanted to keep Mu Hin. Some people and some things were beyond their ability. They could only sigh and feel helpless. Seeing Zhu Dainiu looking into Mu Hin's room like a thief, Zhu Eru frowned and walked towards him. He patted Zhu Dainiu's shoulder and asked him unhappily, "Big brother, what are you looking at?" Being caught by Zhu Eru, Zhu Dainiu was a little embarrassed. He laughed awkwardly and then said, Second brother, I saw that your wife's younger sister is getting married today, so I thought that she would definitely dress up very beautifully. Hin's weddings. Zhu Eru's frown deepened. He replied unhappily, "Big brother, what nonsense are you talking about? The bride is for the groom to see, not for you to see. Why are you looking at her so eagerly?" Being reprimanded by Zhu Eru like this, Zhu Dainiu felt that he had lost face. "Second brother, why are you being so rude? I'm just looking." "What's wrong with looking? Can't the bride be seen by others except for the groom? If you're good-looking, you should be seen by others. Otherwise, who would know that the bride is beautiful?" Chapter 2250. Zhu Eru's face instantly darkened. He felt that his eldest brother was being naughty again. He had been naughty before, staring at Mu Hin. It was normal for him to have such dirty thoughts again. "Eldest brother, don't think that everyone is like you. I'm not as senseless as you. You already have a wife. Isn't that enough? Do you have to stare at other women? You're really eating from the bowl, thinking about the pot, and still looking forward to the vegetable field outside. To put it bluntly, you're not satisfied." Zhu Dainiu did not expect to be humiliated by Zhu Eru again. He was his eldest brother. How could he say that about him? Zhu Dainiu was not convinced and retorted, "Second brother, you can say that. Second sister-in-law is also very good-looking. But look at my wife. She's so ugly. I can't stand looking at her. I want to see a beautiful woman. Am I wrong? Besides, I'm just looking. There are so many people in our village. How many men go to the brothel behind their wives' backs to find women? I haven't even been there. I haven't done anything physically. Am I wrong to take a look?" Zhu Eru did not know how to make a name for himself. He even came up with such logic. "Anyway, eldest brother, you can't look. Hurry up and get out. Don't look at her anymore. If you don't behave, I'll deal with you like how I dealt with third brother." As Zhu Eru spoke, he raised his fist in a threatening manner. Zhu Dainiu then resentfully left the house. Really, his second brother was too petty. He just took a look. He didn't do anything. Okay. I'll leave, okay. Zhu Dainiu angrily waved his hand and left the house. Zhu Eru's expression returned to normal. The conversation between Zhu Dainiu and Zhu Eru was vaguely heard by Madame Qi. Madame Qi gritted her teeth in hatred. The man actually said that she was ugly. He even wanted to look at other women. Looking at Mu Hin's beautiful appearance, Madame Qi felt a stuffy breath in her chest. She felt so uncomfortable that she couldn't get it out. It seemed that there were no good men. They would all be seduced by vixens. She then stared at Mu Hin. Her beautiful appearance stung Madame Qi's eyes. Madame Qi couldn't wait to step forward and scratch Su Qingyao's face. Unfortunately, she didn't dare. In the end, she could only endure it. Vixen. Even so, Madame Qi still cursed in a low voice. Now that she was married, she hoped that Mu Hin would stop seducing others. She couldn't set her eyes on other people's men. "Alright, Xian, you can put on the red veil now." Mu Hin took out the red veil and covered Mu Hin with it. Mu Hin responded. Then, Mulan helped her to the bed and sat down. "All we have to do is wait. When the auspicious hour arrives, the bridal procession will arrive." Yes, I got it, sis." Mu Hin sat in front of the bed. She was very nervous, but there was also a touch of expectation in her nervousness. Thinking that she was going to be Zhao Tianan's wife, what could make her happier than this? There's no hurry. There's still a while before the auspicious hour. "Mother, can you go to Yun's place and see?" "Sis, go ahead. See if Sister Yun needs any help. Her family is very busy today. Well, stay in the room for a while. I'll be back soon." After telling Mu Hin, Mulan went out of the room. Chapter 2251. At this time, there were many people in the courtyard of Zhao Yun's house. The most shocking thing was the arrival of the county magistrate's family. The county magistrate was sitting in a large carriage. The carriage stopped in front of the courtyard of Zhao Yun's house. The county minister was dressed in casual clothes, but he still had an extraordinary aura. He had an unparalleled majesty. Perhaps he had been an official for a long time, so he naturally had this aura. Behind the county magistrate was a woman in a silk dress and a child. The woman wasn't very old, and she was very beautiful. The child was fair and cute, like a porcelain doll. Although the crowd did not know the identity of the county magistrate, they knew that he was definitely not an ordinary person. Ah, the people from the third branch are so powerful. What kind of important person came to hold a wedding? Looking at his clothes, I know he is not an ordinary person. He should be a rich person from Yang City. Ah, isn't this the county magistrate? I saw him when I went to Yang City for a lawsuit. Xuanzi, don't make a mistake. This is the county magistrate. Are you sure? I said I saw him. I can't remember how he looks like, but how can I not remember this county magistrate? This is the person who came, I'm sure. After hearing Xuanzi's words, he looked so sure. It did not seem like he was lying. The crowd frowned and thought, could it be true? If the person who came to attend the third branch's wedding was the county magistrate, how influential would the third branch of old Zhao's family be? It was rare to see a big family holding a wedding in Yang City. How many people could invite the county magistrate? However, these people were curious about the relationship between the third branch of old Zhao's family and the county magistrate. How could they be so influential to invite the county magistrate? At this time, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were entertaining other people. The relatives of the Liang family came, so Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao had to greet them and arrange their seats. When they heard that the county magistrate was coming, they hurried out of the house and greeted Zhao Yun, at the same time. Zhao Yun handed over the matters in the kitchen to the others, and temporarily went out to receive the guests. Sir, madam, you are here. Thank you for your hard work. You must be tired after such a long journey. Hurry up and sit down in the house. Have a rest and have a cup of tea. The county magistrate and his wife nodded casually. It's okay. We are not tired. You don't have to entertain us. Just treat us like others. After all, your family is so busy with the wedding today. We've troubled you by coming over to join in the fun. Madam, you're exaggerating. It's our family's fortune to have you and Milord here. We couldn't ask for more, so how could we find it troublesome? Hurry up and sit down in the house. The table and chairs and tables have been prepared. The county magistrate and his wife answered with a smile and then went into the house. Lan Xuanda excitedly pulled Zhao Yun's hand. His face was soft and cute, but with a bit of grievance, he said to Zhao Yun, Sister Yun, you haven't come to see Xian, for a long time. Xian, missed you so much. Chapter 2252. Lan Xian's eyebrows moved slightly. Finally, he nodded heavily and responded, well. But sister, if you have time in the future, you must visit me more often. Zhao Yun saw that Lan Xian was sometimes so sensible that she felt sorry for him. She immediately agreed, if sister has time, I will definitely visit Xian. At that time, I will bring little sister with me. Okay. She invited the county magistrate and his family to sit at the table and then made them a pot of tea. In addition, she asked Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao to get some peanuts and melon seeds. If they felt bored, they could eat something to pass the time. The county magistrate's family was not so particular, so Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were relieved. They thought that it would be difficult to entertain them. They didn't expect that the county magistrate's family was so easy to get along with, as Zhao Yun said. Miss Yun, you don't need to care about us. Just go and do your own things. The county magistrate's wife smiled slightly and let Zhao Yun, and her family go. The more attentive they were to her, the more reserved she felt. Originally, she came out today to relax and join in the fun. If there were too many people around her, she would feel uncomfortable. Well, sir and madam, if you need anything, you can call us at any time. Okay. Zhao Yun went back to the kitchen to continue cooking. The third branch's couple entertained the others. Early in the morning, Zhao Wensheng and Jin Suizhuan came to Shui Lan village from the town. When they arrived at Zhao Yun's house, it was already past 8 o'clock. There were also many people gathered in the courtyard of Zhao Yun's house. The other branches of old Zhao's family wanted to join in the fun. This person came to the third branch's house early in the morning. Now that the farm work was finished, except for the women who had to do the housework, the men were all idle. Seeing Zhao Wensheng and Jin Suizhuan come back together, Zhao Wentao was pleasantly surprised and said to old Zhao's family, fifth brother and fifth sister-in-law are back. I haven't seen them for a long time. Fifth brother hasn't been home for a long time. Today, we are holding a wedding at third brother's house. Otherwise, I don't know when I can see fifth brother. Zhao Wenhua nodded and responded. Her eyes were filled with tears. She said excitedly, Yes, I haven't seen fifth brother for a long time indeed. This time, he's finally back. Our Zhao family can finally be reunited today. Yes. It's rare. It's really great. Let's go and have a chat with fifth brother. We haven't seen each other for so long. We need to have a good chat. Compared to the excitement of Zhao Yunlong and Zhao Wentao, the rest of the Zhao family did not have much of a reaction. Hu Chunhua, on the other hand, had a gloomy expression on her face. She seemed very unhappy as she reprimanded Zhao Wentao and Zhao Yunlong. He abandoned our whole family for a widow, and now he still knows to come back. Anyway, I'll pretend I didn't give birth to this son. I get angry just looking at him. And that widow, she's so cheap. Her man is dead. She doesn't do anything else but hang out with men outside. Our old Zhao's family is unlucky. One of the few scholars was killed by her. After Hu Chunhua's scolding, Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenhua were embarrassed. Chapter 2253. Zhao Wenhua also tried to persuade her, "That's right, mother. Fourth brother is right. Fifth brother and fifth sister-in-law finally came back. Aren't you making them feel awkward by giving them such an expression? How can they continue to stay here? We're a family after all. What's so big that we can't get over it? Fifth brother isn't a child. He's an adult. The decision he made back then wasn't made on a whim. It's already like this. We should give our blessings to fifth brother and fifth brother instead of making a scene like this. Mother, fifth brother is your flesh and blood. It's been so long since you were angry. Your anger should have subsided by now, right? Now that fifth brother is back, it's equivalent to taking the initiative to deal with you. Take this opportunity to reconcile. Don't keep being in a deadlock. There's still a long way to go. We can't not be a family anymore, right?" Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenhua spoke one after another. Hu Chunhua's face darkened and she didn't say anything. It was a bit difficult for her to forgive Zhao Wensheng all of a sudden. She just couldn't get over that hurdle in her heart. She had painstakingly raised this child and even specially provided for his education. How could he abandon their old Zhao family for a widow? He had studied for so many years in vain. He had no future at all. No wonder people said that once a man got a wife, he would forget his mother. It was true. Zhao Baoshan, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. He said in a somewhat weary voice, "It's indeed not easy for old fifth to come back. Anyway, things can't be changed. Don't bring up old scores today. It's a peaceful and joyous day. Our family should be happy. Don't make a scene and let others see us as a joke." Hu Chunhua responded weakly with an unhappy look on her face. At this moment, Zhao Wensheng had already helped Jin Suizhuan to old Zhao family's courtyard. Zhao Wensheng had not seen his family for a long time. He had a different feeling in his heart. There was a touch of embarrassment on his face, but the corners of his mouth twitched, revealing a smile, and he braced himself to greet these people. Eldest brother, eldest sister-in-law, second brother, third sister-in-law, Zhao Wensheng first greeted his brothers and sisters-in-law. These people were easier to deal with. After all, they didn't have any opinions about him. They even replied very politely. Finally, Zhao Wensheng looked nervously at Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua and called out, "Father, mother." Zhao Baoshan coughed softly and gave an indifferent response to Zhao Wensheng. Hu Chunhua pulled a long face and snorted softly, "You still know to come back. You still remember that I'm your mother." Zhao Wensheng's ears turned red and he lowered his head, not knowing what to say. There was a hint of resentment in his tone. Zhao Baoshan poked Hu Chunhua's arm. All right. Didn't I tell you to stop talking? What are you still mumbling about?" Hu Chunhua pursed her lips. She coveted Zhao Baoshan's prestige and didn't say anything else. Zhao Wensheng felt a little better. Then, he gave Jin Suizhuan a look. Jin Suizhuan faced Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan somewhat cautiously and called out, "Father, mother, Zhao Baoshan gave her face and responded. This meant that he acknowledged Jin Suizhuan as old Zhao's daughter-in-law. Jin Suizhuan was somewhat happy. However, Hua Chunhua didn't say anything in response. It was already good enough that she didn't call Jin Suizhuan a vixen. How could she respond to Jin Suizhuan? Chapter 2254. Zhao Wenxing held Jin Suizhuan's hand tightly and comforted her. Jin Suizhuan also returned a smile. Actually, she knew that she wasn't good enough for a scholar like Zhao Wenxing. She could understand why old Zhao's family treated her coldly. No matter how Zhao Wenxing's family treated her, she didn't care. Even if they didn't have a proper status, she didn't care. As long as Zhao Wenxing cared about her and put her in his heart, that was more important than anything else. It was also because of this that she insisted on being with Zhao Wenxing. No matter what the future held, she believed that everything would slowly get better. In order to gain the approval of Hua Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan so that they could accept Jin Suizhuan as soon as possible, Zhao Wenxing decided to tell them the good news that Jin Suizhuan was pregnant. This was a rather important matter. If they knew that the fifth branch had an heir, their attitude towards Jin Suizhuan would change. All these years, as the youngest son in the family, Hua Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan were the most worried about him. Once the fifth branch had an heir, the other branches of the old Zhao family would be complete. Father, mother, this time, other than coming back to attend Tianan's wedding, I actually have another piece of good news to tell you, Zhao Wenxing said. Zhao Baoshan looked at Zhao Wenxing, his gaze hinting for Zhao Wenxing to say it. Father, mother, Suizhuan is pregnant with my child. Our fifth branch has an heir. Hearing Zhao Wenxing's words, Zhao Baoshan's expression changed slightly. He was clearly happy. No matter what, it was a happy thing for the fifth branch to have an heir. As a father, no matter how dissatisfied he was with Zhao Wenxing's marriage, he was still happy for Zhao Wenxing. And, not bad, that's good news. In the future, bring your wife back more often. If it wasn't for Tianan's wedding today, who knows when you'd know to come back. Zhao Baoshan seemed to be complaining, but his tone and expression were much better than before. Zhao Wenxing knew that for Zhao Baoshan to say such words, it meant that the anger in his heart had mostly subsided. Thus, he heaved a heavy sigh of relief. He then looked at Hua Chunhua's face. Her complexion seemed better than before, but she still didn't say anything. Zhao Wenxing comforted himself and told himself to take it slow. Today's result was already the first step, and it would slowly get better. Ah, fifth brother and fifth sister-in-law, congratulations. Zhao Wenhua was the first to congratulate them. The other branches of old Zhao's family congratulated the fifth branch, and the awkward atmosphere became much more harmonious. The third branch continued to receive the guests, and soon it was time to pick up the bride. Zhao Wenhua went to Zhao Tianan's room and asked Zhao Tianan to get ready. Tianan, have you tidied up your clothes? We have to go and fetch the bride. Zhao Tianan had been waiting for this moment. As soon as he heard Zhao Wenhua say this, he immediately nodded and responded, Dad, it's done. Alright, let's go. N. Zhao Tianan came out wearing the groom's clothes. The bright red gown set off his delicate and handsome face. Usually, he didn't feel it, but now, he felt that he was much more handsome. He was a proper handsome man. As soon as Zhao Tianan came out of the house, the villagers who came to join in the fun saw him and praised him one by one. Don't say, Tianan is really handsome. Chapter 2255. Who knows at that time? At that time, no one would take a fancy to old Zhao's third branch. Sigh, if you want to blame someone, you can only blame yourself for being too shallow. To be able to marry your daughter to old Zhao's family, not to mention Tianan's handsome appearance, old Zhao's third branch is living such a good life now. With so much money, won't your child enjoy a good life after marrying over? In the future, you'll be able to eat and drink well for the rest of your life. You don't have to be like us, sometimes unable to even fill your stomach. Isn't that so? Now that he's going to marry a wife, we won't have this opportunity. Sigh, Several women sat together and chattered. In addition to sighing at Zhao Tianan's handsome appearance, they also regretted that they couldn't be related to Zhao Yun's family. They didn't expect that an outsider would take advantage of them. At this time, outside Zhao Yun's courtyard, Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan also came to attend Zhao Tianan's wedding. After all, it was a big event, and Zhao Ping was Zhao Tianan's biological sister, so it was not good for her not to come. The restaurant's business had stabilized, so it was fine to leave it to the restaurant's manager. It wouldn't take much effort for them to take a day off. Ma Xiaofeng came with Zhao Ping to attend Zhao Tianan's wedding. Ma Xiaofeng originally didn't want to come, but Zhao Ping persuaded her. In case Zhao Tianan saw Ma Xiaofeng and still had feelings for Ma Xiaofeng and changed his mind at the last minute, he could directly pull Ma Xiaofeng to the wedding ceremony. Anyway, there was a chance to change the situation if she went. She could only stay at home and watch the man she liked be snatched away by others. Ma Xiaofeng pondered for a while, then agreed to let Zhao Ping come. Before Ma Xiaofeng came over, Zhao Ping specially told Ma Xiaofeng to dress up beautifully, wearing beautiful clothes and wearing beautiful jewelry. All men liked beautiful women. As long as Zhao Tianan caught a glimpse of Ma Xiaofeng, he would definitely know that Ma Xiaofeng was prettier than Mu Hin. Ma Xiaofeng put on her newly bought silk dress. The light green dress was full of immortal aura. She wore a white jade hairpin on her head, which added a bit of delicateness. Coupled with the matching jewelry, she looked just like a young lady from a rich family. She was completely different from the countryside girl from before. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng dressed like this, she was discovered by the sharp-eyed villagers. Many women brought the topic back to Ma Xiaofeng. Look, Ma Xiaofeng and the eldest daughter of old Zhao's third branch have earned a lot of money. Now, they are dressed so well and even have money to buy these jewelry. Aya, haven't you heard? The restaurant they opened in Yang City is doing well. How can the daily income of such a big restaurant be bad? It has been a while, so they must have earned a lot of money. No wonder. Some people become rich inexplicably, but this luck doesn't fall on others. It can't be helped. There were also women who expressed their disdain, so what if they have money? Look at this Ma Xiaofeng. She is dressed like a vixen. Who is she trying to impress by dressing so gaudy? Aya, isn't she just trying to hook up with men? Think about it, this Ma Xiaofeng is so young. She is really not a good person. Back then, even Dr. Sun was willing to hook up with her. What man do you think she doesn't dare to hook up with? That's called shameless, okay? Dr. Sun is already so old. How can she eat such an old man? Chapter 2256. The women's evaluation of Ma Xiaofeng was very bad. Because of the things that Ma Xiaofeng had caused before, everyone looked at Ma Xiaofeng with some disdain. Although Ma Xiaofeng had no choice but to please Dr. Sun because she wanted to save her mother. But if Ma Xiaofeng could be an honest person and keep a low profile, everyone would not mention this matter again. However, Ma Xiaofeng could not keep a low profile. Now that she was dressed very well and looked very eye-catching, it was inevitable that she would be envied by the women in the village. Women were jealous to begin with. In addition, when Ma Xiaofeng appeared, many men came over to join in the fun. Many men stared at Ma Xiaofeng non-stop. They were completely attracted by Ma Xiaofeng, so she had no choice but to be targeted by the women. You all keep an eye on your men. I think this Ma Xiaofeng probably has some other thoughts again. She wants to hook up with men. It's better not to let her have the chance to succeed. Well, that's for sure. The vixen has already appeared. What if we don't keep an eye on our men? Who asked all men to be so lecherous and like to have an affair? This Ma Xiaofeng shouldn't be allowed to stay in the village anymore. She's making us all anxious. After everyone denounced her, Ma Xiaofeng did not care because her attention was all on Zhao Tianan. At this time, Zhao Tianan was tidying up his clothes, and his face was filled with a bright smile. Ma Xiaofeng saw such a groom from afar and had a different feeling in her heart. In fact, in the village, Zhao Tianan's conditions were definitely very good. Not only was he handsome, but he was also very honest and considerate. With such a person, she would definitely be able to live a happy life. If it weren't for that series of things, perhaps the one who married Zhao Tianan today would not be Mu Hin, but her. Ma Xiaofeng felt heartache and regret. Sometimes, things were like this. It was easy to get something, but it was also easy to lose something. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame himself for not catching him. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng in a daze, Zhao Ping patted Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder. Xiaofeng, what are you doing? Let's go in. The corners of Ma Xiaofeng's mouth twitched as she responded. Zhao Ping pulled Ma Xiaofeng and walked directly to Zhao Tianan. On the surface, he intended to greet Zhao Tianan, but in fact, he wanted to let Zhao Tianan see Ma Xiaofeng and carefully consider whether to marry Ma Xiaofeng or Mu Hin. Ah, Tianan, after you put on this wedding dress today and dress up properly, you won't be able to find anyone more handsome than you. I didn't realize it before, but today I finally realized that my biological younger brother can be so handsome. You've made me proud. Zhao Ping said with a smile. Her voice was very loud, as though she was afraid that Zhao Tianan couldn't hear her. Zhao Tianan's ears turned red. He turned his head and looked at Zhao Ping. Sister, don't make fun of me. How am I making fun of you? I'm clearly telling the truth. Xiao Feng, tell me, am I right? Tianan is much more handsome than usual today, isn't he? Zhao Ping deliberately pulled Ma Xiaofeng to let Zhao Tianan notice Ma Xiaofeng. Under Zhao Ping's arrangement, Zhao Tianan's gaze fell on Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was very beautifully dressed today. She was much more beautiful than he had ever seen her before. Chapter 2257. It had been a long time since he last saw Ma Xiaofeng. The two of them met again under such circumstances. Ma Xiaofeng was still Ma Xiaofeng, and he was someone else's groom today. If it weren't for the series of events back then, perhaps the ones walking into the wedding today would be him and Ma Xiaofeng. It was a pity that the world was fickle and unpredictable. Since it had already changed and could not be undone, there was no need to think about it anymore. The most important thing was to do well in the present and cherish the people in front of him. His feelings for Ma Xiaofeng were only in the past and would slowly fade away with time. Now, Mu Hin was the only person left in his heart. As for Ma Xiaofeng, he only wished her well in his heart. A good girl like Ma Xiaofeng would definitely find a man who would love and dote on her in the future. It was a pity that this man was not him. Ma Xiaofeng lowered her head, and her cheeks were slightly red. She replied in a small voice, Tianan is indeed quite handsome today. Zhao Ping quickly said, Tianan, you heard it now, right? I'm not the only one who praised you today. Even Xiaofeng said so. Zhao Tianan's cheeks also blushed for a moment, but he was too embarrassed to say anything more. Actually, he was too embarrassed to face Ma Xiaofeng. It was really awkward to see Ma Xiaofeng at such an occasion. Zhao Ping saw that Zhao Tianan was in a daze and did not have any other intentions. She was extremely anxious. This idiot, how could he be so indifferent when he saw how beautiful Xiaofeng was today? He didn't seem to care about Xiaofeng at all. Could it be that this brother of hers had really forgotten Ma Xiaofeng completely? Wasn't this a little too heartless? At this moment, Zhao Wenhua urged Zhao Tianan, Tianan, are you ready? If you're ready, quickly get on the horse and receive the bride. Okay. Zhao Tianan quickly responded, then said to Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng, Sister, Xiaofeng, I'm going. As he spoke, he turned around, went to the horse, and jumped onto its back. Before Zhao Ping could stop Zhao Tianan had already left. Sigh, really? Zhao Ping huffed angrily. How could it be like this? Now that he saw Ma Xiaofeng, why didn't he reconsider? He still wanted to receive the bride. It seemed that Mu Hin really charmed Zhao Tianan, making it impossible for Zhao Tianan to forget that he left her and abandoned Ma Xiaofeng. After Zhao Tianan jumped onto the horse's back, the bridal procession left old Zhao's house in a grandiose manner. They first circled around the village, then circled to Mulan's house to receive the bride. Watching the bridal procession leave, Ma Xiaofeng's heart seemed even more empty. Seeing the bright red figure on the horse's back, that handsome young man, Ma Xiaofeng suddenly felt a lump in her throat, and her eyes couldn't help but redden. She thought that she was just putting on a show for Zhao Tianan before, but she fancied Zhao Yun's family's conditions and wanted her to marry into a good family so that she could enjoy the rest of her life. At this time, Ma Xiaofeng realized that in fact, she didn't just fancy Zhao Yun's family's conditions. She had unknowingly developed some feelings for Zhao Tianan. Unfortunately, this boy with feelings got married today, but he married another girl. From now on, there was no possibility of her and Zhao Tianan being together. Ma Xiaofeng tried hard to restrain herself, not letting her tears fall. Chapter 2258. Zhao Ping glanced sideways at Ma Xiaofeng, and her heart ached for her. She only had one friend, Ma Xiaofeng, so she tried her best to help Ma Xiaofeng so that Ma Xiaofeng could be happy. Unfortunately, she couldn't interfere in the current situation and couldn't help Ma Xiaofeng at all. After all, she wasn't Zhao Tianan's biological parents, so she couldn't decide who Zhao Tianan would marry. If they really followed their parents' orders and matchmakers' instructions, as Zhao Tianan's parents, she would definitely let Zhao Tianan marry Ma Xiaofeng and not Mu Hin. Zhao Ping sighed heavily. This silly brother of hers, didn't he know who was good and who was bad? Ma Xiaofeng was clearly so much better than Mu Hin, so why didn't he realize it? He would definitely regret it in the future. Xiaofeng, don't be sad. He didn't choose you because he didn't have the good fortune. He was blind to have fallen for a slut like Mu Hin. Zhao Ping patted Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder and comforted Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng tugged at the corner of her mouth and smiled helplessly. Sister Ping, I'm fine. You don't have to comfort me. Xiaofeng, sigh, I'm telling the truth. Don't be sad. When I see your eyes turn red, I feel sad too. Zhao Ping said with a tearful tone. Ma Xiaofeng was touched for a moment. She looked at Zhao Ping and said, Sister Ping thank you. Sigh, what are you thanking me for? You're my good friend, so of course I want you to be happy. It's a pity that I couldn't do anything to help you or win Tianan's heart. It's okay, Sister Ping, You've already helped me a lot. This was Tianan's decision, and no one could change it. Perhaps I don't have the fortune to be with Tianan, nor do I have the fortune to bring our relationship closer. Woo woo woo. Xiao Feng, don't say any more. If you continue, I'm going to cry. Zhao Ping couldn't help but wipe the tears from the corner of her eyes. Ma Xiaofeng pursed her lips and tried her best to suppress the sadness in her heart. Then, she said to Zhao Ping, Sister Ping, I want some peace and quiet. Alright, I'll go with you. Compared to Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng's sadness, the villagers were in a good mood after seeing such a lively scene. They were all very happy. This kind of excitement was rare to see. Although there were other families in the village holding a wedding, none of them could hold a wedding as grand as Zhao Yun's. Not to mention that even the county magistrate was there, the wedding ceremony was also one of a kind. No one could compare. The county magistrate had never seen such excitement before. He usually attended weddings in the prefectural city. This was the first time he had seen such excitement in the countryside. It gave them the impression that a wedding in the countryside was much livelier than a wedding in the city. Everyone in the village was gathered together, chattering and laughing. The atmosphere was completely different from the one they were used to. They couldn't help but walk out of the courtyard and watch the wedding procession leave. They also listened to the villagers' discussions. Only when they immersed themselves in this kind of atmosphere could they understand the local customs. Lan Xian was usually cooped up in the residence and felt very bored. He felt a little tired every day and didn't have much energy. It wasn't easy for him to come out and join in the excitement. He felt much more energetic and cheerful than usual. Chapter 2259. It seemed that she had to take the child out more often in the future. Staying at home all the time would only make the child more introverted, depressed, and not talkative. Coming out to get some fresh air and join in the fun, he looked lively and energetic. "Mother, when will the wedding procession come back?" Lan Xian pulled the deputy magistrate's wife's hand and asked. The deputy magistrate's wife shook her head and said, "I don't know. It should be soon. Let's just wait." "Yes, yes. Mother, this is so fun. Mother, can you bring me here to play more often?" Lan Xian looked at the deputy magistrate's wife with big and bright eyes full of expectation. The deputy magistrate's wife had a warm smile on her face. She touched Lan Xian's head and replied, "Of course you can. Xian, if you want to play, just tell me. If your father doesn't have time, I'll play with you." "Yes, yes." Lan Xian nodded heavily in response. His little face was full of smiles and he looked very excited. The deputy magistrate's wife narrowed her eyes and looked very happy. She didn't know what her child wanted or liked, so she wanted to give him the best of everything. Now she found that the things her Xian liked were so simple. He didn't like material things, but companionship and joy. She wasn't a competent mother before and neglected a lot of things. The yard was still lively, but Qin Yuan was a little bored. He wasn't interested in these things. The only person in his heart was Zhao Xinhui. Unfortunately, he didn't find Zhao Xinhui among so many people who came to old Zhao's house. He didn't know where Zhao Xinhui went. Qin Yuan looked for her for a while but couldn't find her. He had to ask Hu Chunhua, "Grandma, where is Hui her? Did she come to play today?" Seeing Qin Yuan, Hu Chunhua's attitude was quite good. Hu Chunhua knew that the Qin Yuan needed to develop a good relationship with Zhao Xinhui, so she replied with a smile, "She came over to play. Hui is eating melon seeds in her room. Do you want me to call her out for you?" Zhao Xinhui was a precious person. In addition, her body had been tortured before, so she was a little weak, so she couldn't stand for long. She didn't gather outside to watch the fun like the others. Instead, she sat in Zhao Yun's house and ate the melon seeds and peanuts prepared by Zhao Yun. Qin Yuan hurriedly waved his hand and said with a smile, No, Grandma. I can go by myself." "All right, go ahead then." Hu Chunhua replied with a smile. Zhao Baoshan coughed softly and poked Hu Chunhua with his arm. Hu Chunhua looked at Zhao Baoshan with some confusion and asked, "I say, old man, what's wrong with you? Why are you poking me with your elbow? Don't you know that I'm already so old and skinny? You're hurting me." Zhao Baoshan frowned and reprimanded Hu Chunhua softly in her ear, "You're really too much. Why did you let Qin Yuan look for Hui her? Why can't he look for Hui her? Can we stop him if he wants to see Hui her? Now that he's opened a restaurant, he's no longer the poor boy he used to be. Since he still has feelings for Hui her, let the two of them spend more time together. As her father, you should know that with Hui her's conditions, how can she find a better man?"